Yep. Yeah, tick. Just make sure you tick the box and then mute
Right, there we go.
yourself.
Include my audio. Yeah, I've got that. I just wanted to. Is the stream up?
The stream is now up, mate. The stream is now up.
I can't answer it. That's what I mean. Because I want to. I guess it don't really matter. But I don't want to be like a minute behind because then otherwise that's just going to cause mayhem, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll be like 10 seconds behind. Okay.
Oh, that's right.
I can see now we're coming up on Twitch now. Hoping to see some viewers. Whenever I see some viewers in the chat, then I'll start speaking. Getting a few viewers in now. Hello everyone. Welcome back to SLR Division 2. We've had our first race in Bahrain in the Division 1 race last night, of course won by SLR Dylan, who is my co-commentator for today. I am SLR Sem, who will be your main commentator for today, and we're hoping for another fantastic race. There were some close fights, some close battles throughout the entire grid yesterday, you must say, and yeah, we're hoping for some of the same. As I said earlier, I'm joined by SLR Dylan as the co-commentator for today, and SLR Dolphin, who will be the third commentator. First of all, hello Dylan, of course, fresh off his win last night, but of course we are here to talk about other drivers, not Dylan.
We'll be
so how are you doing today, mate?
I'm doing fine, mate. Yeah, obviously that's I'd say the only thing we need to talk about. Just the Div 2 drives today, not mine or anyone else yesterday.
Yeah.
Obviously we can see the race or can watch a replay. And I'd say that's the only thing we need to say about it.
Yep. Of course, Division 2 last week, the first race of the season was won by SLR Fempest, aka Dawsey. Of course, your Mercedes teammate, with Craig FK getting the Division 2 debut podium. So yeah, we're expecting the similar guys at the front, would you say, today, Dylan, or are we expecting some different runners up near the top?
Well, obviously it's easy to say that we're gonna have the same drivers on top. It's I'd say it's a safe bet. Well, obviously the likes of Craig, Fanpest, those guys will probably be at the top of the grid today. Maybe an underdog, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see in Q1. Obviously, we'll get a clear image of that then.
Yep. Speaking about Q1, I am now on board with Original 96, who is the first person to set his Q1 lap, who started 27.9 through the first sector, which is reasonably competitive. Of course, he got P5 last week, I believe, Dylan. Kind of went under the radar a bit, did Original. He scored quite well last season, but had quite a bit of bad luck, so as I can just see, Craig is quite close in front of him on his lap, so as he gets past the Renault driver quite awkwardly. But yeah, could be a dark horse for this season, Original, don't you think?
Yeah, he qualified 9th on the Saturday race a week ago. Made his way up to P5 in Australia. That's pretty impressive. Obviously, it's not really a track for overtaking. And obviously in the midfield, the drivers are so packed near each other, and collision is nearly avoidable, or not avoidable, I should say, as he's coming across the line now. We'll see what his lap time will be. 126.7. Kick it off, yep. Yes.
Yeah, it's a very, very good lap from Original. As SLR Barlow is now crossing the line, this looks to be potentially into the 125s if he has a good final sector. It's not, but it's a 126.2. A driver that, he was caught up in a couple of incidents last week was Barlow. So he'll be hoping to go better than last week. But I think he's someone that certainly has had the pace. I'm good friends with him, and he said the Bahrain is one of his stronger tracks, so maybe can stick out the season with a good result in Bahrain, don't you think?
Yeah, clearly. I'm on board now with SPH. I think he was in Div 3 last time. Yeah, he was in Div 3 in Season 5. Made his way up.
Yep.
I think he made his debut race in Brazil and got top 10, I'd say 9th, if I remember correctly. I think he's lost a bit of it. Yeah, he's lost his front wing. The right-hand side of his end plate is gone. So he obviously, made a collision somewhere with a wall, I'd say. And he had it as well. so he'll get back to the garage and get a new front wing and go out again.
Yep. And like just onto that, the driver I saw that was behind him was one of the podium finishers from last week, Zach's Beast 25. And we messaged him before the race today to see how he'd be feeling. And Dolphin, what did Zach say about how he was feeling for this race after his podium in Australia? Dolphin, you need to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry about that. I was just having to catch myself on me. Yeah, so Zach, he said it's not his strongest track, but he'll never give up and he'll push it to the limits, and he's very happy with his top 6 result.
Yeah, as we've just seen, another one of the podium finishes, and also last week's driver of the day, Craig FK, has just gone fastest by 0.3 of a second. I think we also spoke to him before the race as well, Dolphin.
Yeah, he said he's feeling good. He said he'd done a lot of practice, hoping to keep his tyres in the best condition. It's key around this track.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah, he certainly started off the session well. The only driver so far into the 125s, and someone also that has gone quite close to the 125s is SLR Teddy. Of course, he was on for quite a good result last week, you'd have to say, but I think he was someone who was caught up with, or just natural, just Australia being Australia, first race of the season being the first race of the season, Division 2 being Division 2, and lost his wing. So yeah. Dylan, another driver who's very, very, very quick over one lap, and we're hoping to kick-start his season quite well today.
Yeah, obviously Australia's the first track of the season. Everyone's a bit rusty. Everyone's just, seeing where they are on the grid. Obviously, the grid is changing every season for most of the drivers. Some move up, some move down. So yeah, I think the first race is just an opener to see where you are on the grid and build up from that point onwards.
Yep, exactly. I think the next driver, to finish a lap, unless iCannon was on a lap, is going to be Owen Howe 36. He got P4 last week. One position off that elusive podium, you'd have to say. And he'll be hoping to go a lot better. He'll be hoping to maybe go one better this week and sneak a podium. He's speaking to him a decent amount, and he said he's quite confident around this track, as his lap is good enough for P4, which I think could potentially send him through into Q2.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure what the cut-off will be.
Fempest here. Obviously, the last time out in Australia, he won it. He got pole and won the race, as he opened with a 27.6. Obviously, I'm not really sure what the current best sector times is, but we'll see throughout the quali. As he's got a racing point ahead of him, but he'll move out of the way. This is a tricky corner here, turn 9 and 10. And he has a little lock-up, but that's alright. I've seen worse. It's a really difficult corner there. As he goes up to turn 11 and 12, make use of the whole track there, stays within the limits, and on the right hand side of that curb you definitely don't want to touch it, neither in the race or on the quali, because that will just spin you out, and your race will be hampered, I'd say, from there on, and your quali lap will definitely be over. As he goes down turn 14, I'm pretty sure that is, and then this should be 15, that little kink. He'll cross the line and put up a 1 minute 25.7, which is provisional pole for now.
Yeah, that's a cracking lap there from SLR Fempest. And just a couple of minutes ago, before he set out on his lap, he got back to me about how he's feeling about this race. He said, "Hello, Uncle Dawes here." He said he's feeling okay. Bahrain's not a favourite of his, despite going fastest of all at the moment. He said that Q3 is his qualifying goal, a points finish, the race goal, and he can't say much more than that, to be honest. Well, at the moment, I think he can say a bit more than that, as he has gone fastest in Q1. So maybe slightly underrating himself a bit around this track. I've just seen that Cooper Benz has gone P3, another driver that was quite confident for this race, and has started off his qualifying with a very, very solid Q1 time. Could be one to look out for, as well as Rockamad 73. I guess Divisions 2's Mr. Hot Lapper. I've seen how quick he can be in Bahrain, and I think I saw his time trial time, which was in the 124s. Just quicker than the Division 1 pole time from yesterday. So, another driver definitely to look out for. Of course, he didn't finish the last race, but he barely started it, really. He crashed on the first lap, but yeah, I think he'll be hoping for a lot better this week and should have at least the raw pace to challenge them.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the times now, Tempest with a 25.7, and Craig, then Rockamore and Cooper Benz. Kind of the names you expect to see there at the top. Both Renault's doing good again. Well, I think those times can really go down. Obviously, track evolution is a big part in this game, as well as you just said, he's gone in the 24s in time trial, so surely he can go faster than this. Probably doesn't want to show his car from now on.
As MRCR Leah, I've just seen he got a tow from his teammate SLR Scopes, which looked very, very orchestrated in the final sector. And MRCR Leah has put himself P4. He's someone like, unfortunately, like he's been plagued with connection issues all through since really the middle of last season, you'd have to say. And he said, I think I was speaking to one of his teammates who said that he thinks he's got a fix for it. Which will hopefully mean that he's able to consistently finish a few more races, because he is definitely one of the quickest drivers in this division. So I think he potentially one to look out for if his connection holds up, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Currently on board with Needless, but he just invalidated on the last corner, so he probably got a validation current lap and next lap. So he's in 18th now with a 27.5, and he's got to improve by, well, 5/10, even more than that, 7/10. So he'll probably get back to the garage straight away, put on a new fresh of soft tires. Both Ferraris in 18th and 19th. Is that a Ferrari as well? No, that's probably an Alpha 19th.
Alpha Romeo.
Yeah, that's an Alpha.
Romeo 19th.
Either way, well, both Ferrari engine suppliers must do better, or will be hoping that they do better, as Needless will probably go down to the garage now.
Yep. He does, however, look to have a decent amount of fuel, and interestingly, he's still pushing as if this is a flying lap where he's not invalidated it and is 4/10 up on his lap. So, interesting tactics there from Neelix. Obviously, feels he has a decent amount of fuel and a decent amount of tyres to be able to continue. Another driver, it's quite surprising seeing him down in P17, given that in Division 3 he was quite close to Craig FK, of course. Of course, they finished 1 point apart, I think it was, in the championship. Is SLR Bean. Of course, he retired from the first race in Australia, but you have to feel that he is a driver who certainly could be someone to improve significantly on his qualifying position, don't you think?
Yeah, clearly, obviously, he got second in Season 5, Div 3. Had not the best of luck in the first race in Australia, but I think he's very keen to show what he's got in him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm trying to see who the next driver to finish a lap is. I believe, if he's going again, I believe it'll be Neelix.
Yeah, I'm currently on board with him as well. Seems clean. See, it's going down that. Ooh, bit of a all over the shop almost. Well, we'll see what he can get. Is it? Gonna end. Oh, is he aboarded it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's aboarded it.
Yeah, he's just aborted
so we'll
it.
go
And
back
I think
to the
SLR
pit.
Barlow will be the next person. If you just want to talk us through the end of his lap.
I'm currently going on board with him. Yeah, going down turn 11 up to turn 12. As he got a bit of traffic ahead of him with a Williams and a the Ferrari Neelix. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's oh, and that's the first retirement.
Oh, and he's out. Yeah, you felt that was coming. It was quite a gradual crash, but yeah, he's lost it in qualifying, and he'll be absolutely gutted with that, I am sure, SLR Barlow.
Yeah, I talked about it earlier, that just don't touch the inside of 12 there. Obviously, we've got 29 laps in the race, and a couple of laps in the quali as well, so it's easy to touch it once throughout the quali or the race, and he just done it, and then that's the quali over for him. He'll start at best 15, but he might drop down a bit more.
Yeah. Of course, starting outside the top 10 does give him a bit of flexibility with strategy. Could perhaps try the hard to medium or the medium to hard strategy for the race. But yeah, he's definitely put himself on the back foot, though. Actually, a driver that's perhaps gone under the radar. Of course, he got a podium last season in Division 2, but missed the first race. This season is SSR Halo, who is just finishing his lap. He's 5/10 up on his best at the moment. This could challenge the top times and does put himself P4. It's a good lap there from Halo. Should see him safely through.
As we have another spin, I think, in turn 12. Slow. Yeah, it was Scopes, a
Scopes.
slow driver. I think he went
He
really
was
slow,
8
but
tenths up
he
on
was.
his best.
All right. I think he's gonna go. Well, he probably goes for another lap now because he's got enough fuel in there as he's switched down the ERS. But I think he's going in the pit now. Yeah, he is. So he's got to hurry up here. He's got enough time, I'd say, for another lap, as he hopes to improve on that.
Yep, another driver who's quite, I'd say, probably in a bit of a precarious position who needs to improve his lap, who will do, is Drastic Blaze, puts himself P9. That is a good lap there from the Williams driver. Showed quite a decent pace, but then got unlucky. I think he got caught up in Cooper Benz's incident in the first race of the season, so he's putting a good showing for himself there. As SLR Bean, he's in the drop zone at the moment, and is hoping to improve on his lap. Needs to find about 0.3 of a second to see himself safely through, ahead of, it'll be SLR Callum, who is the time that we have to look out for. And will this be a bit of an improvement from him? He crosses the line, puts himself P16. Yeah, that's really surprising from him. It lacked a lot of confidence there, you have to say. Really, not really chucking it into the corners as much as he was towards the end of last season, but hopefully he'll have enough fuel to go again.
Yeah, so obviously the time to beat here is a 26.8. Obviously Barlow in 15 with a 26.2, but he's gonna stay there in 15th unless, well, a lot of drivers SPH just crashed there as well.
The other Alpha Tauri is out. That is. Oh, that's
SPH.
not a good qualifying session for the Alpha Tauri team. I'll quickly get off board with him because his car's giving me a headache. And yeah, focus now on SLR Callum.
Hey, I think he on board with this lap.
Callum's backed out. Yeah.
Were you on board with
really,
SPH, sir?
Yeah, I went on board with him. He just dropped it. Same place as Barlow did, but retired on the other part of the circuit. I just see SLR Panther, who put himself P10, has retired from the session as well. Dark Xenon and Original 96 have gone out on outlaps, hoping to improve their times. But yeah, really the main driver at the moment, the first one to set a lap, I think, to look out for will be SLR Hicklin. I've just got on board with him as he comes out of turn 3, going up towards turn 4. Uses a decent amount of curb on the outside, but looks fairly safe from here. 0.2 down on his best. Quite cautious through the S's, as maybe he's thinking he just made a mistake on his previous lap and is hoping to come around just with a time that will just send him through. Of course, need to find just 0.2 on his lap to beat iCallum. Interestingly, drops it to no ERS to get as good traction as he possibly can, coming out of the double left-hander. Is now blasting towards the final sector now, into turn 12, now coming through the sweeping left into turn 13. Stays very wide, avoiding the curb that has caught out a couple of drivers, and he is 0.2 up on his lap, so
should get him through, yeah.
At the moment he is putting in the time that he needs to, but only just on SLR Callum. I don't know if you want to check to see how his lap times are looking, Dylan.
I'll go on board with him, yep. He's 0.3 down as well this time.
But we are staying on board with SLR Hicklin. As will this lap time be good enough to put him through? It won't. He lost some time in the final sector there. As SLR Callum improves by 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, I think at the end they ran out of fuel a bit as well. Time could have been better because the car slowed down, even though he hasn't.
Yeah, Original 96 is slightly up on his lap. Is this enough to send him through? It improves his lap time, but doesn't improve his position. And SLR Bean, he was up on his time, but he's ran out of fuel. Yeah. So really now it is SLR Neelix and SLR Scopes. SLR Scopes is now the following person to cross the line. We'll need to find a few tenths in this lap here, but I do know that he does have that time in him. Could he knock Original 96 out of the session? He doesn't. He's about a tenth off.
Neelix is 6 tenths up.
As SLR Neelix, yeah, he's 6 tenths up. If he can find a few tenths here in the final sector, this will be enough to send him through. So Original will be watching this with bated breath, you might say, to see whether this is good enough for Neelix. It looks good through the final corner. Is the lap time good enough? I'm not sure.
It's 14.
I don't know. It looks very, very similar. He is 16.
Unfortunate for the Ferrari driver there.
And he was, let's just have a look at the lap times. He was 7 thousandths of a second away from making it through ahead of original was Neelix. That is really, that's really, really close for him, and he'll be, of course, very, very disappointed with that. But it looked good for the final sector, and I'm sure he'll compose himself, have his fresh tyre choice, and go again for the race. So the 5 drivers who are knocked out are SLR Neelix, SLR Scopes, SLR Hicklin, SLR Bean, and SBHH, with SLR Barlow also missing out on Q2 due to his crash in Q1. But what's your thoughts on that session, Dolphin? Any surprises? Any drivers that are notable to keep an eye out for? What are you thinking?
Well, for a start, I'm pretty gutted that both the AlphaTauris have crashed out because obviously I am in the AlphaTauri team, so that's a bit gutting. But yeah, Dorsey's looking quick at the top. I knew he was going to be quick anyway. But there was, 5 drivers there in the 125s, and I think other drivers probably could improve their pace a little bit as well, so it should be quite interesting in Q2, I think, and Q3.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking here, I think the first couple of drivers to go out are Original 96 and Cooper Benz, I believe. Interestingly, those two have gone out on the medium tyres. I know Benz was speaking to me, and he said that he hoped that he would... He said that he'd give mediums a go. He said that he'd give mediums a go to me. He said he fancies his pace around this track, and he thought he'd been really struggling on tyre wear, so he thought, you know what, I'll try and strap on a set of mediums and see if that gets me into Q3 and maybe opens up the strategy options during the race. Yeah, so could be one to look out for if not other people are going on the mediums, don't you think?
Yeah, Second Piece has done the same thing here. The Ferrari driver is going out now on mediums as well. So right now only 3 drivers. I'd be surprised if they get through on mediums, at least one of them. I'd say that's a really good job if they do. If they do go through to Q3 with a set of mediums, I'd say the optimal strategy is soft hard, but whatever. I mean, it says a lot. Anything could happen here. We'll see.
Yep. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on Benz and Original as they're setting their laps. Also, I guess it's a good time as well to check out the stream chat. People commenting on Craig FK's lap. In Q1, SLR Hyper saying we're going to rock a mad to Electric Avenue, supporting his Renault teammate, of course. And yep, absolutely all the reason too. He looked very, very quick in Q1. And of course, people coming on what's his name? SLR Barlow's crash.
Yeah, there were some doubts if he maybe was able to participate in Q2, because he was 15th, but obviously they're not able to repair that car in time, so he won't be taking part in Q2 here. He'll start 15th.
Yep. Now on board with the Original 96, he set a 28.2 in the first sector on his medium tyres. Loses the back end a little coming out the right hand, and now coming towards not the nicest corner in the world, double left-hander, locked up there a few times myself yesterday. Is now blasting up towards the fast left-right that is turns, I think, 11, 12 and 13. Takes a decent amount of curve on the inside, uses a decent amount of curve on the outside, straightens up quite nicely. Uses as much of the inside curve as he dares. Coming through 14 now, it's a 106.3 out the second sector. So if he keeps this up, I believe this would be
26.
About a mid 126, I think. Probably a high 126. Looks quite unstable on those mediums coming out the final corner. What it's going to be. Oh, it's a 128.2. Way off what we thought it was going to be, but we're on board with Jurassic Blaze now, and that's a 126.8 for him on the soft compound tyres. Interestingly, Ben's, I think, invalidated on his outlap. So has gone again. So the next driver to keep an eye out for
is Craig.
Well, I believe
but he invalidated.
He was invalidated, and he was on for like a mid 125, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
As Dark Zenon, another driver who went well last week. So it's 126.3, putting himself P1 at the moment. SSR Halo now the next person to cross the line, puts himself P2 with 126.6. SLRI Callum has gone into the pits after invalidating on his lap. Now let's see how Zakis Beast 25's medium lap compares to original 96's. Also a 127.7, so these medium tyres are really not giving these car drivers good grip at the moment. As we now go on board with Cooper Benz, as SLR Teddy has just set a 125.9. That should be enough for Q3 for the Racing Point driver. But yeah, we're staying on board with Cooper Benz. See how his medium run looks. Is that enough? Oh, Original's crashed!
Turn 12 again. Strikes again.
Sticking on board with Benz, we should see Original in the wall there. Yep.
The outside.
Original is in the wall there. It's pointing there for him. But Benz's lap at the moment looks to be good enough for maybe a high 126, I believe, if he heats it up, but I think it will be a bit of a stretch for him to get through on these tyres. He's given it a go, but the pace delta between the two compounds looks to be too much. We'll have to see what this lap time is from Benz. It's a 127 flat, puts itself P5. Slower than all of the soft runs we've seen so far.
Yeah, in Q2, obviously, Barlow, or Q1, Barlow got eliminated through turn 12. Same goes for SPH and now Original in Q2. So, at the start of Q2, only 4 people had to drop out of. Now only 3 people. So, I'd say, is it worth taking a risk on those mediums, or should they go change their mind and go on softs anyway now?
Yeah, I think they probably need like a mid to low 126 to see them safely through, so Benz has certainly got to find a bit of time on his lap, as has Zach, and of course MRCR Leah, who has not yet set a lap on his medium compound of tyres. As I'm now going on board with Owen Howden 36, who's just gone purple through the second sector, and the sectors 1 and sector 2 times so far look pretty good from the McLaren driver. Plays it quite safe into the final corner, but looks good from here. What's his lap time going to be? Could be fastest of all so far, and is. It's a 129.9. Could see the McLaren driver safely through. That's a good lap from him. As I believe the Renault coming through the final corner is just about to start his lap. So the next person to finish one is MRCR Leah, who is not looking good, and Benz is out of fuel. So I believe it'll be...
Yeah, both Mercs on a lap now.
It's both Mercs. Which one is first?
It's
it is
Fempest.
SLR Fempest.
Yeah. They did a 20.
Not sure sector 1
yeah,
times like.
both Mercedes did a 27.6 in the first sector, so that's really competitive, equal to each other there. So we'll see what happens.
As SLR Fempest is approaching this very, very tricky section of the track. Looks to be very, very composed. Takes quite a wide line and does not use any of that inside curve that has caught so many people out. 104.4 through the first couple of sectors, so if he keeps this up, it will be a mid 125 perhaps, as he's coming up towards the final corner now, using a good amount of curb on entry. Third gear on entry, short shift into fourth. He's coming up towards the final corner now. Coming up towards the line now. It is a 125.6, puts itself fastest of all. Very, very good lap from him. What about the other McLaren driver of SLR Panther? Puts itself P3 with 125.9. Very, very handy lap from him.
Yeah, the difference in those laps was the middle sector. First to third sector was equal to each other. Panther was 3/10 down to Fantas in the middle sector, but I think they're happy with that at Mercedes. Like to go out a bit later than everyone else in the quali, as Rockerman is on a lap.
He went P5 on his lap. That's a very, very decent lap from him. And Craig FK, I think, could challenge SLR Fempest's fastest time of all so far.
Yeah, it's equal to each other in the second sector.
The second sector, yep. Coming up towards the line. It gets a bit out of shape on exit, so might lose himself a little bit of time in the final corner, but looks good so far from Craig as well. And yep, that little wobble was probably all it took for SLR Fempest time to be better than the Renault driver, as Zakis Beast is now on his in-lap and might have abandoned the idea of going through on the mediums.
Yeah, interesting enough here is that the difference between Fantas and Craig is 15,000 of a second, and that's the same difference as in Q1. So
exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure it was 50,000 in the first qualifying session as well. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's
now looking at the chat now. Yep. And looking at the chat now, we see that Steve-O, Freeman, both of course McLaren drivers, very, very happy with the McLaren lap of Owen, who put himself P3, of course with quite a big gap to SLR Fempest.
Yeah, Owen just said in the
but
chat that
good
the
luck.
rear end went on turn 12, so apparently he didn't touch. Well, I'd say he touched the inside there, but I'm not sure. He said the rear end just went, so obviously the rear end tries to overtake the front end of the car, and then no grip anymore. You spin out, and well, the barriers are not even that close there, but the speed is so high that he touched the wall and he's anyway there, and the suspension just broke.
Yeah. Now on board with MRCR Leah, who is another driver that has realised that he will be unable to get through on the medium tyres despite the couple of retirements, and has gone out on a set of softs. Looks very, very good through turns 1, 2 and 3. Struggled a bit on traction, but managed to generate good speed coming towards turn 4. Takes quite a tight line, but a little short shift up to 4th. Gives him decent traction on exit. It's a 127. It's a 27.7, sorry, through the first sector, which is quite a good first sector time. It's a little out of shape through the S's, but carries good speed nonetheless. Slightly deep in second in the right-hander, but carries good, but manages to short shift to the third to compensate for that. Again, quite deep in the hairpin, but that'll allow him to get good traction on exit. Blasting up towards turns 12 and 13 now, and uses a lot of curb on entry, but goes very, very wide. Is ultimately going to have lost him time there as well, but what's the time through the middle sector? It's a 104.9, so if he keeps this up, then it will probably put him P7 ahead of Dark Zenon. Coming up towards the final corner now.
It's probably around a 26.1 there, yeah.
Yep, 26.1, 26.2 perhaps. Doesn't use as much curb on entry as we've seen someone like Dorsey use, but sets a 126.2, puts himself P7. Good lap there from him. As the next driver to set a lap will be Cooper Benz, who set a 27.6 through the first sector, 5/10 up on his medium run. As he's coming towards the corners of death now. Uses a lot of curb on entry. Goes all the way down to third and a little short shift up to fourth to get a good purchase. Keeps good speed, and that's a 104.2 through the first couple of sectors. So this could be the fastest lap of all we've seen so far if he has a good final corner here, Benz. Coming up towards it now, uses a little bit of curb. Takes a lot of curb on entry, perhaps turned in slightly too early, but still carries good speed through it. Now coming up towards the line, what's this going to be from Benz? It's a 1:025.4, but still 2/10 clear of the rest. Up the McLaren.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yep.
But a solid lap there.
As Jurassic Blaze puts himself P9, slightly slower than MLCR Leah with a 126.2. I doubt that'll be safe from him, and he won't have enough time to complete another lap, so he'll be hoping that others don't have good laps themselves to see himself through. As SLR Callum, interestingly, is on a 27.7 through the first sector as well, so it could be one to look out for, perhaps getting into Q3. He's coming up towards those tricky few corners now at the end of the second sector. Carries good speed through them. What's this through the first couple of corners? Is a 105 flat, so if he keeps this up, then it will put him into the low 126s, which is the cut-off point to send him into Q3, so it'll be quite tight, but it's entirely possible for the Racing Point driver. As a bit of a correction on the entry of the final corner, which has probably lost him a bit of time, but
26.4 maybe, yeah.
As he crosses the line, and it is a 26.4, puts himself P11. As
He's got
SLR,
enough fuel.
As SSR Halo is on a 27.5 through the first couple of sectors, so... And he nearly loses it, but it's still 7/10 up on his best, so it should put him deep inside the top 10.
He's 3/10 out on Ben's lap, so if he just keeps it clean here in the third sector and not have another moment as he just had at the end of the second sector, he should be fine. Didn't really touchy inside there, but that's alright. He's got time to play with, and he puts himself B4, so that should get him through with a 27.7. 25.7, sorry, that.
Yep, and especially with that mistake, that is a very, very competitive time there from Halo.
Rocker Med is up next. He gets second now.
P2. Yeah. 0.006 of a second ahead of SLR Fempest. Very, very close between those two drivers. As interestingly, Owen has gone out for another run himself. I expect his time will definitely see him through, but given the number of people that have retired, but maybe he wants to do a lap on to get some fresher tyres or something. Of course, he will have an extra spare set. I think he said that he was going softer. The Zach is Beast 25 now approaching the line. Is this going to be good enough to send him through? It's not. He stays P13, but improves his time. iCallum has gone again and is a 10th up to the first couple of sectors, and this might send him through here as he's just run out of fuel before the line. Oh, that's...
Next up, Xenon. Xenon in 11, trying to improve as well. He's got enough fuel there. Oh, he's going to start it up now. He's probably going to start it up now then.
As Owen has pulled into the pits and has elected to retire. So, obviously knows he is safe and doesn't want to use that set of tyres.
So, Zach is now on a lap. And then I think the only driver is Xenon then on a lap. So, I'll say on board with Xenon then, see what he does.
Yep. He is a 10th up through the first sector. But yep, I'll go back on board with Zach's Beast as he is the first runner. And both of them are looking to knock out Drastic Blaze, perhaps. Zenon's first sector time would be good enough to knock out the Williams driver. Zach's Beast stays very, very tight to the inside and is 3/10 up on his time. To provide a bit more time, this could knock out Drastic Blaze, and could even perhaps trouble MRCR Leah if him and Zenon improve their times. But Zach's Beast is coming up towards the line now. He's just approaching the final corner. Looks good there. Gets good drive coming out the final corner. What's this going to be from the Ferrari driver? It puts himself P11, just missing out on the top 10.
Yeah, I think Xenon's going to make it.
Xenon is 2/10 up on his best, and he's coming up towards the line. This could put him ahead of both Leah and Blaze, but he will only be worrying about Blaze. Need to find about a 10th and a half here on his lap. Maybe 2/10. But it looks to me that he's found that lap time, and he has put himself P9 and safely through into Q3, and that knocks out Drastic Blaze. So your 10 drivers who have made it through into Q3 are Cooper Benz, Rockomad 73, SLR Fempest, Craig FK, SSR Halo, Owen Howell 36, SLR Panther, SLR Teddy, Dark Xenon, and MRCR Leah. With your 4 casualties being Drastic Blaze, Zach's Beast 25, SLR iCallum, and Original 96, who of course lost it near the beginning of the session.
Yeah, I guess it's time to go to Dolphin if he saw anything we didn't see or has any comments on that qualifying.
Good lap there right at the end by Xenon. Thought he kept his composure nicely to get through there under pressure. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting between the top 5. I think they're all pretty close. So I don't know who's going to get into the top 3. But
yeah, let's get our prediction.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the best time for predictions. Could have those in the chat, please. People joking that Benz's time is a Division 1 time.
Yeah.
Of course, every time someone
Benz
sets a lap that's quickest in one division, people say, "Oh, promote them, promote them, promote them."
Yeah. Well, we've seen that. I think it
race.
happens every single season, every single race, every single qualifying session. So no surprises there, really.
Scopes has been kicked from the lobby, so if you can get him back, please.
Yes,
Dylan.
I will.
Top 3 predictions. We've got SLR Rando is saying Benz, Dorsey, Rockomad, and Owen. He's given us our top 4 predictions. Surprised he's not put Craig there, but I guess Benz, Dorsey, Rockomad, and Owen are electric drivers, and he's got to back his teammate. Personally, I reckon that Benz will get pole position. I think I'm going to go with Benz, Craig, Dorsey as my top 3. I'm interested to hear what you guys' predictions are. What's yours, Dolphin?
I'm going to go Dorsey, Craig, Leah. That's what I'm going to go.
Dorsey, Craig, Leah.
Cooper Benz, sorry. Dorsey, Craig, Cooper Benz.
Okay, Dorsey, Craig, Benz. Colden has gone with Dorsey, Benz, Craig. Freeman has gone for a McLaren 1-2, Benz, Owen, Craig.
No surprises
Love your
there.
optimism there, teammate. As we are going to be on board with SLR Fempest, I think, throughout this lap, and what better person to talk you through SLR Fempest lap than his Division 1 teammate SLR Dylan? So I'll give you the reins for this one, please, mate.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about every corner that he hit that and perfectly. He nailed that nailed that corner as well. No.
And it's only his out lap.
And he puts up a 1:23.8. No, I don't think we'll see that. Otherwise, he's straight promoted to esports level.
Yep.
As he's going down the final few corners in 14 and 15, actually, it's 2 corners apparently. As he's starting his lap now, opens up the DRS, the main straight in 8th gear. It's in miles per hour for me, so I have no clue what it is in kilometers per hour. Braking at the 100 meter board down to 2nd gear, first gear, with a bit of a lock up on the inside, but nothing too major or serious. So he rides that curve there to turn 3, up to the turn 4, take the widest line as you possibly dare, and then go down to 3rd, up to 4th, 5th, as he ends the first sector with a 27.7, down to 6 and 7 here, and all the way down in corner 8, as he probably gonna down 2nd, yeah, and then up to 3rd again. So 9 and 10 here, tricky section. See if he, no, he doesn't lock up though. That's lovely to see as he opens up the DRS for the 3rd time here in this lap, going down turn 11 now, using the track as well on the outside there, braking for turn 11, going up to turn 12. I said it multiple times before, don't touch the inside there, otherwise you're going to lose a 4.6. I know he's been faster there, so might just go for a bit of a slow banker here. Obviously he wants a delta for the 2nd lap, doesn't want to invalidate because that puts a lot of pressure on you. Up to corner 14, and then there's Little King to the right as well as corner as well as 15, opening the DRS, keeping it in 7 and 8, and it's a 1:25.79. Oh.
NLCR Leah has set a 1:04.4 through the first 2 sectors, so this could challenge SLR best time, and does put itself P1 at the moment. Now the McLaren of Benz crossing the line with a 1:25.6, puts himself on provisional pole, but is still slower than his Q2 time. Next driver to cross the line is Craig FK, another driver in the 1:04.4 for the first couple of sectors, so this should be up there from the Renault driver as well. Puts himself faster to the 1:25.7, great lap from him.
Next.
Owen Howell 36, this should be a good lap from him. Again, puts his P4. Dark Xenon, what's this going to be from him? Could be a high 1:25 if he's done a good final sector. Just misses out on that. It's still a good time. SLR Panther has sadly invalidated his lap as Rockamad and Halo are on out laps. Clearly Rockamad and Halo want a bit of screen time. As more predictions, Sprightly said Dorsey, Rockamad, Cray. Scope said Benz, Dorsey, Leah. Stevo said Benz, Owen, don't care who. As I'm going to be on board with Rockamad now, as he's approaching turn 4 now. Uses a lot of curb on entry. Takes him to 3rd for as good drive as he possibly can. 27.5 for the first couple of sectors is very, very competitive from him. Carries good speed there. Now coming up towards turn 8, I believe. Gets good traction. Coming towards turn 9 and 10, takes quite a tight line. Compromises him a bit, goes down to 1st though to get the turn in. Short shift up, double short shift up to 3rd to get good drive as he possibly can. Now up to 11, 12 and 13. Uses a decent amount of curb on entry, but not perhaps as committed as we've seen other people through there. Stays nice and tight though. It's looking very, very smooth from Rockamad. This could be enough for pole if he nails the final sector. As he's coming up towards the last 2 corners. I believe the track map classes it as a double right. But down into 3rd through that corner to get as good turn in as you possibly can. Comes up towards the line, knowing it's only good enough for P5 with a 1:25.7. Now on board with SSR Halo, and he did a 1:29.2 through the first sector, so that's not going to be anything for him, and I can see he is now backed out of his lap.
Yeah, the Panther and... yeah, I think only Panther invalidated, didn't he? I think Panther was the only one to invalidate on the first run. I think both Mercedes got 3 sets of softs left. So Panther went in the garage straight away, put on another set of softs, and we'll go out for a 2nd lap here.
Yep. You know what, Dylan? I'm going to treat you this time. SLR Panther is going to be the only person who's going to be on a lap at the moment, so you can commentate on the other Mercedes lap as well.
Should I commentate on the out lap as well?
I don't think
Give
there's
the
much to
Merc
talk
some
about on the outlet.
airtime. No, we'll see. We'll see.
I am giving the Merc plenty of airtime.
Yeah, I
because
see.
He
Surprised
is
by
the
that.
driver who is on his.
Surprised by that, mate. No.
No, I don't have the same agenda that Zydred has.
Oh? Well, it'd be. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
Here we
You
go
don't have to-
on the outlap. Don't touch the apex after turn 12.
I'll just wait.
Up to 13. No, I'll save that for the outlap.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Zydred's comment in the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll probably
anyway,
post
yeah.
a comment.
Anyway,
Here we go.
over to you, Dylan, for
Here
Panthers
we go.
out. Before that.
As Panthers lining up for the home straight, opening up the DRS here. Rich, or Max, Angema, I should say, and hot lap mode of ERS as well. Going down turn 1, breaking at the 100-meter board. Scopes left again. I should probably give him a invite, so bear with me here. I'm trying to see both the laps and invite Scopes. Going down turn 4, that is. Yeah, you need to tell me the sector time because I can't see it, obviously.
It is a 27.7 through the first sector. It said it was purple, even though it's a couple of tenths down on what we've seen someone else set.
Yep.
So cheers, game.
Down to turn 8 and then up the gears to 9 and 10. I said it before, a really tricky section here. But I think he runs ABS anyway, just like me, so no worries for a lockup there. Lovely, lovely, lovely. As I said it yesterday as well. Using all track at the exit there. Could maybe use a bit of more track there, but that seems fine. Going up to turn 12, I'm saying again, don't touch the inside there, as he keeps it nicely close to the apex. Well, a 144, so I'd say that's up
There's
the
a
time.
cracking second sector there from Panther.
That's really up there with Craig and Cooper Benz in first and second. Using the track for the last, or the second to last corner as well. Nicely on the inside there, opening up the DRS, and it will give him a 125.7. So clearly up there with the big guns.
They put him ahead of Owen, ref.
Oh wow, yeah, actually. Well, I know for a fact that as Owen is on the lap and he's improving now, so I know for a fact that normally it should give Owen a place instead of Panther because Owen set the time earlier, but the game is clearly favoring Mercedes here, and why wouldn't they?
But yeah, these times I have to say are disgustingly close, by the way. That gap between OLCR Lear and P3 and Rockomad 73 and P6. But yeah, we are staying on board with Owen now.
Yeah, I'd say
He gets a good drive out of turn
move
11.
them all up to
Coming through
Div 1.
turn 12.
Move them all up to Div 1.
And yeah, he's slightly down on his laps, a little mistake through the middle sector, but still carries good speed there. Hopefully he'll take a nice bit of curb onto the final corner. This is really his one and only lap. He has to get this last bit of his lap right. He gets better drive than I think he got last lap, so hopefully this will be a bit of an improvement from Owen. What's this going to be? It isn't.
He's got enough.
Stays P5.
Yeah, if he's got enough fuel, he can go for a second lap here. As now, Rockaman is starting a lap. Behind him is
He's
Teddy.
put it on no
starting a
ERS.
lap as well. Yeah, he's got enough time for another lap. Just go around.
Yep.
Cool down the
Craig is
tyres.
on a lap as well. He is a little bit down through the first sector.
Just got
And he
Halo
has
up
the.
ahead.
Yep, he has Halo ahead of him, who gets him nicely out of the way. Loses the car a bit, but is still a tenth and a half up. That has severely compromised his final sector, though, so maybe it won't be a big improvement as it possibly could be. I think that dirty air did definitely affect him through that corner. Turns it maybe slightly too early in the final corner, but still looks good. Fuel lights flashing, so this is his only shot to improve,
Yeah.
and he doesn't improve, which now gives Cooper Benz a shot at improving and maybe toppling his lap. As he's slightly down through the first sector, although I think it's going to be Rockomad 73 who's going to be the next driver to set a lap. Coming up towards turn 11 now. Runs a little wide, but still carries decent speed. Is Rockomad 73? I wouldn't be surprised if it says like 4 tenths quicker or something, because that is the kind of qualifier he is, and it's 1.5 tenths up, and he does get the turn 13 completely spot on. So this could challenge Craig. He's weaving.
He's weaving. Oh, what is that about? What is that about,
okay.
Renault?
I mean, That's one way of entering the final corner on your lap, but
He's already
and
celebrating.
he was weaving for a good reason. There's a 25.3. The absolute...
Absolute balls there.
But Cooper Benz is up on his lap. This could challenge Rockamad or Craig. Put himself P2, just a tenth behind Rockamad. Good lap there from him. As interestingly, Fempest and Owen are like right nose and tail on their lap, so Owen is using a lot of the...
Yeah, Owen is a 10th down, so...
As SLR Teddy has gone P4 with his laps. It's a good lap from him. MLCR Leah is just about to cross the line. He's slightly up on his lap. And puts himself the exact same time as Teddy as well.
God. And he put him up ahead, so the game is screwing Teddy
okay,
over.
so we have two qualifying... This is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
Benz has
crashed.
Sure. but he is still P2. SLR Fempest now coming up towards last bit of his lap. He's 2/10 up on his best. Owen is invalidated just behind him. Bit of a shame there from him. I'm sure he'd be setting a very, very similar lap to him. But now SLR Fempest, how's this going to be for the Mercedes driver?
2/10 up in the middle sector.
Towards the line now. And he
P4
got himself P4. Yep. And that lap time for Owen was... I can double check the race director to see what that would have been.
Yeah, 25.7.
25.4 from Owen.
Oh, was it?
It would have been a 25.4. That would have put him P3.
So that's it. Rockamat weaving on the almost the last straight of the lap, already celebrating his pole lap. That is showing off. That is showing off. He's got some confidence in that car.
As Colden has said, McLaren, where are you? One of the McLarens is on the front row. I don't see a Mercedes on the front row, Colden.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Honestly,
but yep.
I think that's it, right? Teddy's going in the pit now. Did not have any fuel left. So that's it. Renault pick up a 1-3 with Rockamat on pole.
Yep. And Cooper Benz in P2 in the McLaren. SLR Fempest with a great lap to put himself P4. MLCR Leah and SLR Teddy in P5 and P6. Then Panther and Owen in P7 and P8. Dark Xenon in P9 and SSR Halo in P10. The oddity of two identical pairs of times in this qualifying session as well. How do you see that qualifying session there?
I want you
Dolphin?
I want you, either one of you, to find out when's the last time that happened. 4 or 2 similar times. That's got to be a new record, right?
Yeah. I know in I think it was the 1997 European Grand Prix in Jerez, we had the top 3 drivers. I think it was Schumacher, Villeneuve, and Heinz-Harald Frentzen setting identical lap times. So that kind of thing's happened before, but 2 pairs of them, quite interesting. But yep. So here's your top 10. What's your thoughts on that qualifying session, Dolphin? As I said,
it's pretty good. They're top 8 within 3/10 of each other, so that should be quite a good race. Will Coop keep second place as he's crashed out? Will he go back to 10th?
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
He will. Okay. I thought he might go down as he's crashed out. I thought it counts as a DNF sort of thing. But yeah, looking forward to the race. And so, because I think maybe a medium starter might be able to spring a surprise in this. Somebody starts on the mediums.
Yeah.
I think Rixie did it yesterday in the race. And obviously, in the second sim on those softs, and you're really fast compared against the hard runners with their tires slightly damaged already. I guess we'll see from the race director onwards. Hopefully no one is running up, as it doesn't seem like. So that's lovely. No lobby restart should be required then. I can't press my start button. Yes, I can now.
And there's a little bit of debate about there being the toe, you might say, in Q3 that Owen was getting from from SLR Fempest. Of course, that did ultimately get him some dirty air and lose him a bit of track position.
In the end, I think it's Owen's own decision to to stick that close to the Mercedes driver, because I saw on the track map that Van Best did overtake Owen in the last sector at the beginning of the straight there. So obviously it's his own decision to stay in that slipstream and hope for a better lap time because of the slipstream. But in the end, the dirty air cost him, and I think that's why he invalidated there. So obviously that's unlucky for him. But anyway, he's still in P4. Is that? No, he's
Owen.
P8.
No, Owen's down in
P8,
P8.
Yeah, he's probably a bit disappointed with that, but anything to race for. 20 laps. Maybe you want to sing a song for this 5-minute break? Entertain us, Sam? I know.
I don't know if
I know Rendo has been creating a song for the side pod on Wednesday. So maybe Rendo wants to join the party now. I'm joking. If you want to do Rendo, sure, join us.
I mean, there's the Lando Norris McLaren song. It's Friday then.
Oh yeah.
It's Saturday, Sunday. What?
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that replica of that. You should cover that. Really, you should. As we have Scopes with some troubles with his Xbox right now, as he's restarting his Xbox. So as soon as I see him coming online, I will invite him. Obviously, you do not like to see those things. He's in 17th. He'll probably start on the mediums then, because the game automatically puts you on the mediums.
Yep, I expect so, and of course he won't be able to change his fuel load. It's an interesting track where you can underfuel by quite a bit and still have lots of fuel left over.
Yeah, I did that yesterday in the race, and because I thought that might be a safety car, but it wasn't. So when I finally closed the gap to 1 second to Rando, I could, started putting in lean, and I had to save like 0.48 liters of fuel. So I was a bit worried there, but in the end, it's pretty easy to stick in someone's DRS with overtake and rich, and then drop it down in lean. So, like you said, you can underfuel the car. Scopes hasn't got that option. I'm actually happy that there's no lobby restart and Scopes was in the top 10, because otherwise he probably would have started on the wrong tire there.
Yep.
Luckily, that's not the case.
And of course, if that had happened to Scopes, then he might not have been able to put a setup on. I think Riggsy had that issue last night.
Yeah.
Where he didn't have a setup, so hopefully that's all fine there. But yeah, looking at the tyres at the moment, we have SLR Barlow is starting on the hards, SLR Hicklin starting on the hards. Then everyone else outside the top 10 at the moment has selected mediums, and of course the top 10 runners all got through on softs. So yeah, but can we now have our race predictions, please? The top 3 for the race.
The Scopes is back online now, so get your game up, lad. Let's get it.
And yep, Owen has said that they're reading up at 7:01. 7:01. But yep, I think Owen and Teddy will feel a bit hard done by that qualifying. They could have been one position up on their positions, but of course that will give you the inside line into turn 1. Some people prefer the inside, some people prefer the outside line.
Yeah, you got me on the outside yesterday, so I think seeing that.
Yeah, the outside line is the odd finishing position. I believe. Yeah, first place gets the outside line, I believe. So on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I started P3.
And got the outside.
Well, you started behind me last night.
Yeah, and I got the inside line in 4th. So.
Yeah.
And I got a mad start, so
So we have predictions are Zydrad's gone with Dorsey, Benz, Craig top 3. Steve-O's gone with Benz for the win. Freeman has gone Benz, Owen, and whoever. Shock.
Right.
Merckx has gone Craig, Benz, Zenon. Rando's gone Benz, Owen, Dorsey. Baggy's backing his 2 Ferrari teammates of Zach and Neelix to get points. That's a decent shout there from him. Oh, and Halo has left the session. Quickly get him back in. He's a top 10 starter.
My tires are hopefully that doesn't happen to him.
Oh god. I know that can happen when multiple people leave at the same time, but I mean, hopefully his tyres are not the temperature of absolute zero in the universe. Um, the coldest temperature possible in the universe. As looks like we are getting ready now for the start of the lap. As yep, Rockamad, his first pole position of the season. He, of course, he had an interesting, an interesting lap, you might say, weaving just before the line. But,
Yeah, to say the least.
I mean, that's quite funny there from him. But
Anything you can do, I can do better.
A 1:24.5.3 is still an absolutely belting lap. Yeah, but Checker said Rocker legend. I mean, fair enough.
That sums it up, yeah.
Of course, they are friends in real life. A member of the, I guess, two-man Rockamad fan club. Although I'm sure all of these Renault teammates, including SLR Hypers, who I hope is still in the chat watching this race, are also part of. As, yep, on board with Rockamad now. My prediction is going to be... I'm going to back Benz for the win. I'm going to back Craig for P2. And I'm going to back Leah to get a podium.
Oh?
That's my prediction.
That's interesting. Well, I'm gonna say SLR Fempest P1, SLR Panther P2, and SLR. Well, kind of gave it away with SLR there, but SLR iKellum P3. Go on, lad. P13 to P3.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, I'd love to see that happen.
We'd have to see an
there.
absolutely crazy race for that to happen, and to be fair, I am all for it.
Yep, same here. So let's get it.
As yep, Rockamad is coming up towards the line. He's done his tyres, whatever.
Yeah, just to come back on the
SLR
1-3 for Renault.
SPHH now approaching the final corner.
Yeah, the 1-3
to
for
complete their outlaps as well.
The 1-3 for Renault here in Div 2. Obviously, Renault's the joint constructors, well, sitting in P1 in the joint constructors now, with a comfortable lead of about 24 points, I'd say, to Mercedes in P2. So, if they can do a good job here, then, well, get a big step up to that joint constructors.
Yep.
SPH's.
Yeah, it's a very, very good start from them in this qualifying session. But yep, now we are preparing for the 5 red lights, as everyone is sitting on the grid. The guys that had to load back into the session are loading back into the session. Hopefully everything is fine and there does not need to be a lobby restart due to people's connection thing spinning forever. The longer this goes on for, the colder the tyres everyone will have, I believe. I think that's how it works. I think the tyres cool down the longer you're sat in on the grid. Could make quite a chaotic first lap. Hopefully they can do whatever to the grid that they need to do.
Yeah, I'm on board with Owen here, and I see the tire temperatures dropping now, so I'm getting a predicted stop strategy, or pit stop strategy. I hope it can just go underway, and we'll see, but it doesn't seem
Rockamad's tyres are all dropping to 60 degrees or below.
Yeah.
Our Scopes' tyres minus 200 degrees.
Well, they're really, really low. Obviously, the drivers at the top were the first ones to lock into their grid slot. I think we're gonna get a lot of restart, because this is taking very long, and the problem should be solved by now.
The person who needs to leave, maybe.
Oh God, please! You need to dashboard. Oh, it's probably Scopes then. I've seen signs of Scopes needing to dashboard, because otherwise we're not gonna go underway. Scopes is in AI mode now. He doesn't leave, so should I just invite Scopes to the party? Very good thing to do.
I don't know. I mean, we're waiting for whatever information we need. Come on.
It says I see Dawsey here. Owen and Halo. Press home button. So he says Owen and Halo. I'm not inviting anyone, obviously. Oh God, I see Barlow with a cross, but that's alright now. Halo's got a cross, so he probably left. So I think it's Owen.
Oh yeah,
here.
he was the driver who was
Yeah.
reconnecting into the session.
Yeah, but I don't see why Owen should be probably here. Randage said lobby restart. I think she did want to see, but
Okay.
yeah, Teddy left, so I think we're gonna get a lobby restart here. Otherwise, I'm missing the Carnage into turn 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
I beg for a lobby restart now, but
Yeah, that was interesting. That was very interesting. Whilst we wait for the lobby restart, what better time to just go through time trial and just do a lap just to kind of showcase kind of.
have you got
Bahrain?
Does
Bahrain as a track? Yeah, I do.
I was about to say, like, the time that I need to load in and the time that you do need to load in on the stream is the difference is ridiculous.
But yep. Yeah, now hopping into Bahrain just to get a setup and just talk through the lap. Yep. Use Bidsy's setup.
The goat.
but yeah, just to give some people some entertainment for the races. Yep.
I'm surprised you didn't.
Final couple of corners. Like to brake kind of roughly at that point and just take a nice wide entry into the final corner. Now approaching turn 1 now. This is quite a big good overtaking spot. You can either choose to defend on the inside or the outside. I find that defending on the outside works quite well because
Yeah, say it, please.
because you can then get good drive up to the other overtaking spot, which is of course turn 4. You should put the DRS on now. This is probably the best overtaking spot on the entire track. Again, taking quite a lot of curb on the inside.
5 seconds up on his
outside.
lap. Absolute sweat. Connor just said
As you take those couple of corners in the middle sector.
Connor just said a 23.0 incoming, so yep, go on lap.
That's one of the most awkward tracks on the calendar. One of the most awkward corners, sorry, on the calendar, as is this one. But yep. Not really an overtaking spot, surprisingly, turn 11, despite the DRS zone, because the track kind of bunches up on the inside and means it's quite difficult to do so. But yep, and now the corner of doom, just trying to avoid that one. Penultimate corner, you want to carry good speed on the outside.
Yeah, I'll invite you back once you're done with this lobby, or this one time trial lap.
And up towards the final corner now. Yep, DRS enabled. Yep, that is a lap around Bahrain.
What's the time?
125.8.
Hopefully we'll see some quicker times in the diff 2 there, because
Look at that pad traction.
Yeah, well, I think it was a medium traction as well, there, mate. So pretty sure, but we'll see. Ooh, Chelsea 1-0 up. Ooh, Mason Mount.
Interesting.
Mason Mount.
By habit, I nearly accidentally selected a car for this race in the lobby.
Oh, Sam, you sweat. Alright, have we got any... Connor just said medium traction simp.
Medium traction simp, yeah.
Connor with the fraud horn as well.
Fraud horn. Oh god, it wasn't that bad a lap. For just one lap.
Zyder at the set. Sam gonna flex it 29.4. Oh,
nice.
In the head.
I mean, like, I'm not the only person who's done like a couple of time trial laps in between a lobby restart. I mean, it's Division 2, lobby restart, shock.
It happens every week, yeah. The weather is on quick for me again. It makes no sense. Like, it says quick for me. I see the stream for you, it's dynamic, but it says quick for me. So, I wonder if it's gonna rain, stay clear, or if it's quick. It's really, should be really interesting. I think it's gonna be, well, I'd say just set it unclear. But
Yeah. Halo said he's having issues with the game continuously kicking him.
yeah, oh god. Got 19
That's-
drives now. He's still only want to join.
Yep. Dread said he did some time trial laps and it exposed him as a fraud. Nice.
Yeah, Halo's going to reset now.
Yep. Yeah, Halo. Yeah,
So-
just reset your Xbox and hopefully it'll sort out the issue. I've had that issue before, and generally just resetting the Xbox, resetting the game, should hopefully solve it, and hopefully you'll be able to get back in.
Yeah, I kind of need Chelsea to make another goal here, because, yeah. The bet's on working in my favour now.
Nice.
50% raise, lovely. Can't make the custom grid now, but I think they need to wait for Halo as well, because I think once he joins, the grid is gonna, well...
Oh yeah, they're going to have to set the grid relative to him.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they're going to set the custom grid to swap Teddy and Leah around and Owen and Panther around. Maybe not. I mean, it is what the game put them as. Of course, so probably got to go with that. But of course, they might decide to. I think I remember in Italy last year in Division 2, I think Owen said he would have swapped. I think it was like before Bennett beat my lap. He said if there was a lobby restart, he would have swapped us two around due to my lap being set first. So maybe they will, but maybe they won't. We'll have to wait and see. Yep. Now, I guess. Seeing as this track is Bahrain and we're waiting for the lobby to start, to pass the time we can discuss about, I guess, memorable Bahrain Grand Prix. Of course, we had the battle between Hamilton and Rosberg in 2014, which is one that, of course, immediately sticks out. The first Bahrain night race. Then there's the
Charles Leclerc one, I'd say.
The Charles Leclerc one, where of course he lost engine power and yeah, dropped down a couple of places.
P3
And of
there,
course
because
the
there
one
was a
this
late,
year-
there was a late safety car on that race, and then they finished behind the safety car. Otherwise, I think Verstappen and was it Gasly at that time?
I think it was Verstappen and
in fourth.
Vettel. Vettel, I think, might have caught as well.
Yeah, obviously Vettel
yeah.
had that spin in the race as well.
Yep, of course, the
Spinala.
famous Vettel Spinala corner.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you did that exact spin in Formula 2 earlier on this week.
Mate, we're talking about a Div 2 race here, or the real F1, not F2. I did in the feature
it's so
race
easy
in
to
F2.
do, of course.
It really
It's
is,
so easy
mate.
to do, of course.
It really is.
And then of course a notable thing as well with this track, of course, is a scene of Grosjean's accident as well,
Yeah.
which more recently, like in the last couple of weeks, we've had photos of him taking all of his bandages off, and
Things you'd love to
hopefully
see.
we'll be making a full recovery
Yeah.
as soon as possible. Really, it is
Yeah,
really
I
staggering
saw
the safety of F1
I saw a
cars,
video
really, isn't it?
I saw a video on YouTube with some drivers saying that the last team radio, like the last goodbyes, and it's really sad that Grosjean never had that one. I think Mercedes offered him a test once he fully recovered and feels like driving again. Hopefully
cool.
that happens for him and he can drive. Well, I think it's a W010 then at that time, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's just speculation. What's also speculation is that the races in Canada and 2 other tracks might be postponed. But...
Oh yeah, we've seen that. Hopefully we get as many races as we possibly can. Of course, Sport, F1, etc. is the thing that's really, I guess, keeping people together and keeping people in good spirits for just everything that's happening, just with everything that's happening in the world. We'd like to have as many sporting events as we possibly can to keep ourselves busy and stuff. And yeah, hopefully we do get as many races as possible this season. 17 race Canada last season was quite frankly remarkable. Albeit, of course, the 2 races in Bahrain, the 2 races in Britain, and the 2 races in Austria. Although, of course, the second Bahrain race was around a completely different track, you might say.
We've got
As
Halo
SSR
in.
Halo has
Yay.
got back in. Hopefully the game doesn't kick him immediately. Of course, I guess if he is joining and leaving too many times, I know that can cause connection issues with the lobby. So hopefully he doesn't have that, but is naturally going to have to be a driver to keep an eye on. But at the moment, everyone is having full green bars of connection on my screen, so hopefully there won't be any connection-related issues that we have to worry about in this race, and we can just concentrate on the racing. Yep, it's good to see Halo in, good to have a full grid.
Yeah, the weather is still undynamic, but I don't think that
everyone-
should play a factor. But...
Yep, I mean, it's Bahrain, there's about a 2% chance of rain, if that. I mean, it is in the middle of a desert.
Well, it rained in Abu Dhabi like 2 seasons ago, I think. But obviously, because the track being so hard, it's like dropping a bit of water on a hot pan. It won't happen anything.
Yep.
And it dried up.
Yep. Now, yep. I think we did get race predictions before we started, so I don't think we'll need to do those. I think now the stream's been going for 76 minutes and we still haven't got into the race. So, yep, it's running quite late as usual, although we should still have plenty of time before the Division 3 race. And, yep, as Halo, as Didier said, my apologies for his thing getting into lobby. Well, the important thing is that he is racing and we have as many people racing as possible. And he has called setups for everyone. Yep. Any of you who are racing, any of you engineers who are watching, I'm sure there are engineers that are going to be watching as well as in parties with others who are going to be racing. Remember your setups. We don't want people running on a default setup, as well. A default setup around this track is horrible. You need to have a mixture of good traction, good straight line speed, and everything really around this track. And yeah, it's a track where setups can be really, really specialised and.
Yeah, Halo's still loading for me. Everyone in the top 10 obviously needs to start in on the soft tires as well. The game is going to put them on a medium tire first, so hopefully everyone is aware of that and selects the right strategy.
And Dylan, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much pain are we going to be feeling seeing the incidents report file up for Division 2 when watching this race?
Well, I missed my football training last Monday because, well, only one incident. I'm not sure how much we can say about that, but an incident took quite a while to discuss and to finalize. Halo said, "My apologies. It's all right, mate. You're in, and that's what we want to see. Hopefully, well, I'd say for a neutral perspective, hopefully that's just hard racing, but fair. Any amount of incidents." Stays out a bit because you've got elite as well, and you never know what happens there. Interesting in the ELF, there was like I think 3 sending clips in that Div 2 race last Saturday.
Hopefully, we'll have as few incidents as possible though. On
I think there were
the
like
racing
10
is the thing
elite,
that takes
so.
center stage.
I think there
hopefully
were like 10,
the racing is the thing that takes center stage for this weekend.
Definitely.
Is Owen going to put in the chat when we are going to be readying to go?
I think they'll do like 3 minutes. They did that last night as well.
Mm-hmm. Other drivers I think it's worth keeping an eye out for this race. I think SLR Barlow could be a bit of a dark horse in this race. Of course, he did have fantastic pace last week and was talking about how he had good pace in Bahrain himself. And he, of course, will have free choice of tyres to go on whatever strategy he wants to go on. Now waiting for them to start the race. Hopefully it won't be too long now. And hoping for a belter. And one last thought from Dolphin before we start this race. What are you looking out for strategy-wise?
Well, since the lot, I was going to myself say Barlow because I looked at the race director that you had up, and he was gonna start on the hard. So I thought he might be a bit of a dark horse, but now I think with the lobby restart, everyone's starting on fresh. I think it's going to be. I think it's just going to be the top three. It'll be the top three.
Fair enough.
Don't say
Of
that.
course they will.
You gotta say like, whoa, I think
I just
the top
think with
three
the
is gonna
lobby
change,
restart,
and
it's just a massive advantage, isn't it, for the people that started at the top,
yeah,
qualified
I'd
in the
say
top 10. It's just a huge advantage because it was, like you said earlier, Sam, it's touch and go if you can push a hards to the end. But now they've got no worry about that, so I think it's too much of an advantage for them. So top three will be the top three.
I mean, of course, Bahrain is a track where you can overtake, so hopefully you'll be proven wrong, but reasonable prediction. There, as yep, we are now underway for formation lap number 2.
yeah, I'd say that. For second formation lap of the night, we've got more. They're really slow at the back, and Neelix and
As
Hicklin.
SLR Neelix and SLR Hicklin have been disqualified.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what's happened with those guys.
Must have hit each other then.
But they are going to have stone cold tyres for the start of the race. It's not the best start from them, but of course it might actually help them because they might get a bad launch off the line and are not tempted to join what's inevitably going to be a very congested mid-pack at the start of the race. Yep.
Yeah, how many times you reckon?
73 will make us tough.
How many times do you reckon you're gonna say "Oh my God" in the first lap?
I can't really remember how many times it was last week, but it's quite a lot. Australia is a track for lots of chaos, and to be fair, I don't think Bahrain is a track that brings as much chaos as Australia. It's one of those tracks where the only times you're really seeing safety cars are for driver error, because it is quite easy to overtake. It's not like Australia, where I feel that certain drivers may get, for use of a bit of word, they may get a bit impatient and try some rash moves because it's so hard to overtake. But here, you can be patient. You can sit behind the car ahead. You can just make quite a straightforward DRS pass. But of course, it is incredibly punishing when it comes to making mistakes, as the Corner of Doom has shown us. There was Corner of Doom in Australia, and there is another Corner of Doom in the following track in Bahrain, yep. Sorry, brain fart there, bot moment, as I'd rather say. As I'm now going to just put it on tyres to see what tyres people are starting on. A detailed tyre, there we are. Everyone's starting on softs in the top 10, 11th to 14th trying the mediums, then Barlow, Scopes, Hicklin, Bean and SPHH are trying the hards with SLR Neelix on the mediums. Keep an eye on SLR iCannon's connection if you would.
Yes.
As we are now readying the 5 red lights. Rockerman 73 is leading us away now. And it looks to be a good start from Cooper Benz.
Oh.
As he goes right to the inside. Good start there from Dorsey, aka SLR Fempest as well, who looks to have maybe got a jump on Craig. I think actually Craig has turned defense into attack and has now got past Benz, who'll be looking to fight back immediately as soon as he can. SLR Teddy is also making that 3 wide as well.
Oh,
as SLR Fempest has made it 4 wide, as Teddy has gone up the inside of all of them, as Craig has kept his position. That's a disastrous start there from Benz all the way down in P5, as Fempest has got past him, but a lightning start there from Teddy. Also a big gainer there is SLR Calamas. Oh, MLCR Leah. Oh, that's not good there from him. His connection's jumping all over the place. And, he's just got Ben's wing damage. I'm sorry, Dylan, we have to do this already, but I think you might need to send Leah an invite because his connection has just caused Cooper Ben's wing damage, and he is jumping about quite a lot after this lobby restart.
He's okay for me now, but I'll just take a ball with Cooper Benz here and see if it's get worse again.
Oh, it's like
scrapping
Zenon has
there,
tried to move
yeah.
on Cooper Benz as well.
Yeah, obviously Ben's got damage now, doesn't he? Or is it? Yeah, Ben's got damage.
Yeah, Benz is going to have to make an early pit stop. As
Oh, has he got
SLRI
hit
Callum
by
has
a cannon?
tapped Benz. As SLRI Callum has made a mega start here. As have the two Renaults who are up in 1 and 2. But yep, Benz is in the pits, changing his wing now. As is
Panther as
Panther,
well.
who clearly got caught up in an incident as well. Jurassic Blaze and SLR Bean are way down on the field as well. Hopefully they don't have damage. As Owen Howe 36 is making a move on SSR Halo.
And Jurassic
But
Blaze
yeah,
gonna go
just
in
maybe,
as well
maybe
in the pit.
just keep an eye as he's not near any cars at the moment. Just keep an eye on Leah's connection for the time being,
Yep,
but
I will.
it doesn't look good. Just as he's not near other cars, we can maybe give it a lap or two to sort itself out, as we don't want to jump the gun too quickly. But of course, it has caused another driver damage already.
Yeah, so I was about
yeah,
to send an
Rock'em had
invite, but then it seemed fine as we have a spinner in Neelix, I think. No, it's Scopes. Scopes just spun on those cold hard
yeah.
tires.
Yep, he's now lost a position to SLR Bean. As yep,
Oh, it's
Panther
Tempest
and
is seventh
Benz
now.
really caused out.
Tempest is. Oh no, this is just a timing. Never mind. I think he's in 4th because Blaze
Yep.
paid it as well, so he should be in 4th. I was about to say that's interesting. As he dropped out of the 1 second range shoot Teddy hit, so no DRS for him. As the boys at the back, Panther, Benz, and Jurassic Blaze really need to save the car here. Once they, I think around lap 15 would be lovely for them. Put on another set of mediums.
Yep. As I've seen a couple of people in the chat have said that we're going to have to bring Leah out. So yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. Do send him an invite.
Yes.
Yep. It's a shame that we have to do that, but that is completely unraceable, as that has shown with Benz, sadly. So yep. Just send him an invite. It's sad that we have to do so, but yep. It's not great. As Zaki's Beast 25 has made a move on original 96. Of course, the two guys on mediums. SLR Barlow has worked his way up quite well onto the hards, as has his teammate SBHH in 12th and 14th. SLR Hicklin has also done similarly. As well, the intervals, they're not really displaying what they should be displaying. But yeah, now we're going to have a look at position gains. As yeah, SLR Callum is the main gainer, up 6 positions into P7, Dylan. So it's been quite a frantic start. A little bit of time to compose ourselves, but I think now we have established a little bit of an initial order.
Yeah, I think Tempest is really pushing Teddy here on these soft tires. Teddy seems to struggle to keep up with Craig. Both Reynolds actually 1 and 2 now. So I think it's going to be an easy move for Tempest into turn 1, as Teddy has been using a lot of ERS. But still can't close that gap to Craig. He's got DRS now, so it's going to be a harder move than Tempest as he would have liked. But I'd say he's going to get it done anyway. Ooh, Teddy's really.
Xenon pits.
Yeah. Oh, Xenon pits.
As SLRI Callum, interestingly, was looking to get the slipstream on the driver. Oh, Xenon's got wing damage. That's not something we'd noticed. So, and he's hoping to take cards to the end from here.
Move
so
here by
from him.
Tempest into turn 4. Takes
Teddy is looking to fight back around the outside. Is he going to have good enough traction? No, he's not. And SLR Fempest takes the position. So he can now chase the Renaults up ahead. Yep. You have invited.
I have, but
you have invited Leah, haven't you? Yep.
Yeah, it's
not
really,
joined as of yet.
it's really hard here because obviously I've invited him, but like it may be only the first lap. Obviously, I don't want to be the guy that sends someone an invite if he isn't like lagging. I've seen some.
Owen spun. He's hit the back of Callum. Hopefully, he's not got damage from that, and hopefully it won't lose him too many positions. But yep, he's lost position to.
He hasn't got damage.
Halo.
Hasn't got damage.
Yep. So a little mistake there from Owen Howe 36, but he just needs to recompose himself and then get back fighting. Also, another close battle here is SLR Barlow, whose hard tyres are working quite well, chasing up to original 96. As Rockamad and Craig are now very, very close. The two Renaults there. Them and SLR Fempest are kind of breaking away a bit here.
3-way battle here. Fempest close the gap to 1 second here, and now it's in the DRS of the Renault ahead and Craig. So yeah, they're really well. managing their ERS fine here. Teddy behind them is on 20%, so I think they're gonna, well, get away here, the three of them. And I think the race win is gonna, well, it's early days obviously, but the race win is probably gonna be one of them three.
Now on board with Owen Howe 36 as he's maybe thinking about a move on SSR Halo. To now jump on board with, as SSR Halo has just picked up his first penalty of the race. Quite early on to do so that's going to, of course, compromise him a bit. As we now ride on board with Craig FK. Does he have maybe a bit better race pace than his teammate? Could we perhaps see a bit of a switch here at Renault? Or is Rockamad kind of managing his ERS and stuff himself? He's got plenty of ERS as the Renault driver. So should be looking good at the moment. And Craig might just elect to stay behind his teammate. Frantic start here, Dolphin. What have you noticed?
I've just been keeping an eye on Callum because he started on the mediums. He's made up 7 places, you can see there, so he's got himself right into a good, strong position if he can keep up with these guys at the front and Barlow as well on the hards in temp. So just watch out for those two. I think they can make a push at the end of the race. I think.
Yep. As interesting, the SSR Halo has now gone into the pits for quite an early pit stop. Maybe trying the 2-stop perhaps, but that's freed up Owen a bit to chase after Icanum again. As yet, the gap between the 2 Renaults in front, it's slowly decreasing. It's now going to go on to tyres now.
Halo has gone for hards.
Halo's gone onto the hards, so he thinks he can maybe stretch to the end. As SVHH has got past SLR Hicklin here, so... And they're both very, very low on ERS, so... He actually messaged me before the race saying, don't go on board with me at all during this race. Obviously not confident on himself, but he's made a good start anyway. Up from the back of the grid all the way to P11 at the moment. As Dark Xenon is now looking to make a move on SLR Panther. He's got plenty of ERS, does the Red Bull driver, as does Panther. Does a little bit of a switch back on Panther, but doesn't get the traction he needs. As yep, now the 2 Renaults are right behind each other.
Initially, Xenon was behind Panther, so Panther must have overtaken him on those, well, fresher medium tyres. Obviously, the faster, and we're going to go on board with Craig now, as he's right behind his teammate. Might be some team orders, or are they allowed to fight? Both, putting on their ERS, their overtake mode, at the same time turning it off again. Front row seat with Fanpest here, as Craig is overtaking Rockamat into turn 1, as Rockamat isn't really fighting this. Well, Darcy, or Fanpest, interestingly enough, is really closing out the back of Rockamat and might fancy his chance into turn 4 here.
Yep, he's using quite a lot of ERS, the Mercedes driver, but thinks better of making a move. But yep, Craig FK takes the lead. Can you send MLCR Leah another invite as well, because of course had his connection issue and he has not. I mean, like, it is looking fine at the moment, but
that's
it was
why
quite bad in the first lap, and we have already sent him an invite, so...
definitely.
I'm just thinking he's catching up to another car, and it's... We don't want anything bad to happen, and it was horrific in the first lap. SLR Fempest here, he's biding his time well, similar ERS to the 2 drivers ahead of him, and maybe hoping to make the move on the 2 of them. As they have really gapped Teddy by quite a bit, and SLR Callum, of course, another driver who is really causing them to not really worry about too many drivers, other than really themselves, looking at the gaps as well. As SLR Fempest has gone for the undercut here, the undercut is quite powerful around this track, so maybe he's thinking that he can jump 1 or maybe 2 of the Renaults with that undercut. Be interested to see whether that rejoins him in traffic. So Mercedes strategy team obviously pulling the pin early.
Owen in as well.
Undercut. Owen is in as well. Yep.
I don't think he'll get
past a couple of drivers ahead.
I don't think Fempest's gonna get traffic here. I think that's Halo. Halo is the last person to join that train. But I think he's gonna get just in front of him. Yeah, he does.
Touch and go between SLR Bean and SLR Fempest, and they're going side by side.
That's crucial. That's crucial.
That is absolutely pivotal. Of course, that will have lost him time a bit, but as
Not that
Owen Howe
much,
36
so.
gets behind Cooper Benz, of course, his McLaren teammate, but Benz is on the soft compounded tyres.
Yeah, obviously one of the Renault's got to go a lap third. As Craig just
As
left.
Craig
oh,
left,
I'm gonna
yep,
invite
get
him
him
straight
back.
away. Yep.
Mm.
Craig. Where are you?
This should probably make Rockerman's decision easy for him about whether he stays out or he pits, because one of the Renaults
Yeah,
has
he's
to
gonna
pit
pit.
at some point. So I'm on board with Rockerman now, as he's got to get past. He's got to get past Craig, and yeah, his AI's in the way quite a bit. Rockerman misjudges and brakes a bit, and yes, he does pit. Does Rockerman? Yep, makes sense. It's the only logical decision because Craig would have to pit next lap due to his AI mode. I'm sure Craig would have been the one preferring to cover, but this could cost Craig in his battle with SLR Fempest. And we are now going to go on board with the Mercedes driver.
I think it's going
to
cost them
comes out relative to him.
both. I think it's just going to cost them both because obviously Rockerman lost some time to Craig or lost some time to Fempest on the last corner with Craig's AI being in the way. Craig's AI is going really slow. Hopefully he can jump back.
And yet Fempest does undercut Rockerman.
Yeah.
And it is by a decent amount. It's by over a second. But they are now both approaching SLR Hicklin, who is on the harder compounded tyres and will not be pitting for quite some time. As yep, now
Yeah, crucial move by Dorsey here.
And now is Craig back. He's changing his ERS, and I know the AI can't do that. So I think the answer is yes. I think Craig is now back into the session. So he'll be looking to pit at the end of this lap, unless he wants to maybe extend his stints a bit. So yep, shaping up to be quite a mouth-watering phase of the race. Rockermad 73, yep, he's dropped back a bit from SLR Fempest, who I think will be taking the effective lead of the race once all the pit stops shaken up. Unless he, of course, has some troubles passing Hicklin and Neelix, who will be going a bit longer. Yep. As Craig FK is now going into the pits, Dylan.
Yeah, same goes for Leah here. I've been on board for him for a couple of laps, and it seems fine for me. So, obviously, we're the one to judge. And I'd say at this point, if I'm just going to stay on board with some drivers behind him, and if it's bad, I'll straight away invite him. But I just don't want to be that guy who takes away like a P4, P3, because his pace seems really good. So I'll just stick aboard, no worries.
Okay. As Craig FK has been undercut by Rockermad.
But I think he finds that okay. Like the distance, it's less than a second. If you just can stick in the DRS with a bit of ERS, I think it's fine because initially I thought he might have lost out for like 2 to 3 seconds here, but apparently that in lap when he joined was pretty good. He lost about 4 seconds going into the second sector. So
as Panther, Halo, and Zenon are fighting for the lowly positions of 17th, 18th, and 19th. Panther is the big loser in that. As yet, now here is the lap or so for Rockermad and Craig to really go for it and try and catch up to Fempest here, because he has now approached traffic. Ooh, he nearly goes into the back of Hicklin there, but composes himself and brakes early enough to avoid the collision.
He really needs to take his time here. Obviously, Hicklin's not going to get the ERS. He's got more ERS than Hicklin does, as he's using it a bit. He should be fine going into turn 1, and then he's got a cap of 1.3 seconds to the next driver, as in that's Neelix in the Ferrari. As Hicklin loses the car a bit. Yeah.
Looking over to the right, is Hicklin using his ERS to defend? He is not. He knows he is not in the same race as this driver behind him. So he's not fighting it. As MLCR Leah gets past SLR Bean for P11. And yep, now Rockermad and Craig, it's going to be their turn to pass Hicklin soon. As now he is approaching the next driver in the traffic of SLR Neelix, is SLR Fempest. And being the lead car getting through the traffic, sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's harder. But of course, if the others take a while to catch up, then it's going to benefit him quite a lot. What's your thoughts on the race so far here, Dolphin? How are the guys on the alternative strategies getting on? Do you see any of them fighting back maybe near the end of the race? And what's your thoughts on Dawsey's undercut?
So I'll be
Might
back
wanna-
with you in 2
yeah.
seconds. My Twitch just cut out.
All right, fine.
Okay.
We'll do the talking then.
I was looking at the gaps here.
Yeah, go on.
Rockamad73, he's in a situation now where Hicklin is maybe just about losing the DRS to SLR Fempest. So if Rockamad gets past Hicklin now, then given that Fempest is now in a bit of a DRS train, he can catch up to him. So I don't think this race is over by any means. Craig FK, of course, has to compose himself as well. But MRCR Leah is catching him, so maybe this fight for the win is turning into a four-way fight as Leah just out of nowhere really is suddenly caught up quite a bit as Teddy and Bean are fighting. Bean keeps the position over Teddy, despite of course being on the older tyres. He wants to show what he is made of, and keeps the position over the Racing Point driver as Panther and Halo are battling out again. Panther has got past Halo. So good move there by the Mercedes driver, but Halo is fighting back now.
The outside line's
Going
going to work
side
for
by
Panther
side.
here. Yep.
Rockamad, yep, he's now right behind Hicklin.
Fighting side by side going into second sector, and Halo's just in front of the right-hander there. As Cider said that Halo's connection is bad apparently. Stick on ball here. So I
Yep,
think
so hold in for a bit.
Teddy's overtaken Bean again, as we have a yellow flag, and that's Ikelem. Oh no, Ikelem.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
Be careful.
he's got to
yeah,
wait for all of these cars
Yeah.
behind him to pass him,
Can
and
go now.
that's really destroyed his race, sadly. He's lost it on that corner, and it's so easy to do.
He has got damage as well, so
As
he
yet.
must have clipped the corner there as he's cutting the track now. Hopefully that doesn't give him a pen, he does not. So yeah,
I think he's got a bit of wing damage as well
He
from
does.
that, but
Yep, he
that allows
does.
Ben to get through. As Scopes has spun there as well.
oh,
Solar Neelix has sped into the pit lane.
obviously his tyres are overheated now, so Sco's got a big
As
chunk
Craig
of,
has got past Rockamad here, but Rockamad is fighting
yeah.
it. These two don't need to fight among themselves, they need to focus on SLR Fempest ahead. But Craig obviously feels like he has better pace than his teammate, and of course has the fresher tyres, so wants to be the one to close down the Mercedes driver, who is now behind SPHH in P4, SLR Fempest in P5. And now
Leah
a
Hicklin
bit of a battle that
fighting.
we haven't given too much screen time to is the battle between the guys who started outside the top 10 and SLR Barlow on his hard compound tyres. They're clearly now showing a bit more pace in the mediums. Is now right behind Zackersby's 25 here. So he'll be hoping to maybe make a move on the Ferrari driver, as the Ferrari driver's tyres will be screaming to him a bit now.
Yeah, I think the Mercedes guys really wanted a safety car there when both Scopes and Ikelem spun on turn 12 there. Ikelem even hit the wall, so he's lucky to get away with only wing damage. He has pitted. He's on fresh hards now, so was he on hards before? Was he on mediums?
Who's that? Sorry?
Ikelem?
Ikelem was on mediums.
Yeah, he was, alright.
As-
So he can go all
as-
the way now.
Original and Zacky's Beast have pit from their medium tyres, so now the only driver ahead of SLR Fempest to worry about is SPHH and SLR Barlow, the two Alpha Tauris running 1 and 2. They'd love a safety car around about now because you can just about take mediums to the end from here, and that'll put the two Alpha Tauris in a really good position. As I saw Rockamad try and fight with Craig a bit, but then he thought better of it.
Yeah, the Fempest got like 90% of ERS now. That's about, well, 2 times as much as the both Renault drivers got. So once he gets past SPH H here, he should close the gap to Baller really quick, as he's getting a bit held up here by the AlphaTauri driver, who obviously is in a different race than Fempest, but obviously doesn't have to move out of the way because he's in a net P2, well, not a net P2, but he's currently in P2 and is allowed to, well, defend it. Oh! Oh god, please.
Oh, SPHH nearly loses it.
Yeah. Kept it on
Could have
the
been
track
quite
well there.
disastrous for the Mercedes driver behind him, but that
Yeah, and
has
he's lost
compromised
a
him quite a
chunk of
bit
time.
and is allowing Craig to close back up again.
There's a chunk of time there, about a second, I'd say. 8 times at least. So you should get past SPHH now very easily. He doesn't fight it. Different race.
He's using quite a bit of his ERS,
Is he?
however.
Oh yeah. Well, DRS is dominant, so hopefully for Fempus here, SPHH gonna do the same thing to both Renaults now and doesn't pit, because otherwise Fempus lost a chunk of time to the Renault drivers behind. As Teddy and Bean are fighting
And
again.
Teddy has made a move on SLR Bean, yep. Teddy gets himself up into P8. And that would be effective P5, I believe. As the two Renaults do look to have pulled away a bit from the Alfa Romeo of MRCR Leah and are closing up to the Alfa Tauri of SPHH, who is going to be dragged along quite a bit by SLR Fempest here. As I'll be interested to see what Barlow elects to do. Does he go onto the softs at the end, or does he go onto the mediums?
I'd say softs, but obviously it's up to the AlphaTauri drivers and engineers to make that decision. I'd say the soft hard or soft medium strategy, soft hard strategy is the optimal strategy around Bahrain. And if nothing happens due to safety cars, I think he'll just go on the softs and have a very, very fast second stint here.
Yep. I'm also intrigued about whether Benz is going to do another set of mediums from his position, given that we obviously boxed quite early on due to his damage. Craig FK has made a move on SPHH, who has pit, presumably going on to the mediums to the end from here. As SLR Hicklin has also pit from his half.
Yellow flag. Scopes again, isn't it? Scopes again. Second time in this race. Keeps it out of the wall,
shame there from him. But it's so easy to do. As now SLR Fempest, he is now tucked up behind SLR Barlow. And this is the chance for Craig FK to perhaps close in on the Mercedes driver. He's going to have one opportunity to get back in his DRS, and this is it.
I've got a request by Mercs47 if we can get some off-board camera, please.
Sure.
Some nice helicopter shots, maybe, if the game allows us to.
Yep.
Are there any battles on track?
We are now having the sweeping camera of Craig FK.
Oh, yeah.
Closing right into SLR Fempest and SLR Barlow.
So yeah, Craig is really...
really pushing here to try and close up onto the DRS of SLR Fempest. It looks like he's done it here, so this race is back on, I believe. SLR Fempest, he has to make a move on Barlow as soon as possible, but of course doesn't want to make any mistakes. Whenever Barlow's a sensible driver, he's got plenty of ERS, but he's not really going to bother fighting it. He doesn't need to, as he comes into the pits, actually. That's given Fempest ERS, of course. Which he will need to use, as Craig has now got DRS on him. So the battle for the lead is now reignited, with SLR Fempest in the lead on the oldest tyres of the three.
Oh, but might have chance here for Craig.
Yes, I'm just going to go on the on-board camera with Craig.
Turn 2.
Is he going to have a go at maybe overtaking the Mercedes driver? He is. Yep, round the outside of turn 4, runs a bit wide, but maybe has a bit of a line into turn 5. No, he thinks better of it. Fempest locks up a bit. I was just looking at this. Barlow has come out in P12 on the fresh mediums, with a couple of drivers ahead of him yet to pit. So, as Original has got past Barlow, interestingly, is there as well. Oh my! There is a very, very, very large gaggle of cars. As Barlow has got back past Original of Neelix, Halo, Barlow, Original, SBHH, all of them. As Craig is now still right behind SLR Fempest, we're going to go back to the lead. The lead battle. Of course, he's quite low on his ERS compared to the Merc driver, so that could put the Merc driver in good stead. As MLCR Leah, interestingly, even though he's a couple of seconds back, does have good ERS himself. Craig's only thought now is track position. The two Renaults, of course, outnumber the Mercedes driver, so they could work together if need be. SLR Barlow has made a move on SLR Neelix for P10. But we are going to quickly cut back to the battle for the lead. We are on board with Rockerman73, who was thinking about making a move on Craig, but elects not to. As Craig FK is now tucking in the slipstream of SLR Fempest. Is he using his ERS? He is not, but he has dropped down to less than 50% ERS, so...
Yeah, I think there are two things Fempest could do here. He could either caliber tire. Yeah, that's turn 12. Could that be a safety
car, maybe?
Is there?
It is
It's safety car. Full safety car out. Full safety car is out.
Car.
I'm pretty. Yeah, SC. It says SC on the black box. So that's gonna probably put on some drives on the
really mixed up this
now.
race here. SLR Barlow is going to be
Panther.
really annoyed that has come just after he has made a pit stop, but
yeah,
be interested to see what these top drivers do.
Yeah, that bunch up the field now. Interesting. Blaze in the pits now. He's probably gonna put on a new fresh of softs. It's gonna be interesting whether the top guys have got a fresh set of softs.
Well, they obviously do because of the lobby restart. They all have plenty of fresh sets of tires.
Good point there. Good point there. So everyone is gonna. Well, that's probably gonna lose out Rockmat a bit here. Probably see Leah.
Yeah, it's great for Barlow and SPHH, who have recently just pitted onto the mediums. Actually, of course, they would have liked it to have come whilst they were still out, and of course, cracking for SLR Bean. Because if loads of drivers around him elect to pit, then the Haas driver has benefited massively. But we'll just have to see what SLR Fempest does from the lead.
Yeah,
we the others to follow.
Oh, he does not.
As Craig pits.
That's a surprise, but
Rockermad pits as well. Just held up MLCR Leah a bit, who does interestingly pass Rockermad into the pits.
Oh what? Oh yeah.
And Rockermad is going to be held up in the double
Craig
stack
got a
as well.
penalty. Craig got a penalty. I'm pretty sure. Craig got a penalty. I just saw that on stream.
We'll have to see, but yep, loads of drivers behind everyone behind SLR Fempest has elected to pit, and he has elected to stay out. So that is the flaw of being the lead driver in the train. You don't really know what others behind you are going to do, and yep, that's really cost him.
Yeah,
everyone else behind him has pitted.
Well, we said it in Australia. I mean, you said it. I did not say it. You said in Australia that the strategy call on lap 1 pitting wasn't in his favor in the end. In the end, it was in his favor, but I think this is the wrong call here. I think he should have gone on a soft.
Yep.
Obviously, they're probably disappointed now because the safety car is going so slow and he probably can't go in the pit anymore.
And what a safety car, as Mark said, for SLR Barlow, who's up in P4, and he's only on like 1 lap older tyres than all of the other guys, and I'm sure has the pace to be able to contend here. SLR Barlow could be on for a podium after that safety car. Absolute limbs in the AlphaTauri party, I am sure.
Absolute fingers.
Yeah, absolute fingers in the AlphaTauri party, I'm sure, as SPHH is up in 8th as well. Rockermad, after having to double stack behind his teammate, has dropped down to P9. Has cost him massively. Cooper Benz is now back in the race with 1 lap old medium tyres. As Ricky was saying that Halo is having interesting connection issues. You might want to keep an eye on Halo. I don't know whether you have been recently.
I have not.
But yep, we now go on board with SLR Fempest, who is the lead driver under the safety car.
Yeah,
of course, Craig FK, I do believe, does have a 5-second speeding in the pit lane pen, which, well, it's highly avoidable, really, from the driver. But he had to.
Yeah, that's well, the safety car is probably going to stay out for another lap.
Yeah, Craig, I mean, I think he should be able to pull a gap on Fempest on his hards, but...
Yeah, I think what Fempest really needs to try here is just to, stay ahead of Craig, use all of his ERS for the first couple of laps, and try to, create maybe a gap to Zakker's Beast in third, as he's on 5 lap old hard. He's probably going to hold up Barlow and Leah for the first few laps. And once Craig does manage to get Fempest, he just needs to stick in that ERS and use all of his ERS if he can to keep in that 5-second. I think Craig's going to overtake him, after like a few laps, because obviously those fresh softs are so key against those old hards. However, the softs are gonna drop off, like, I'd say lap 7, so they'll easily make it. Merc chat, fingers in the chat, fingers in the chat.
Yep. This safety car has produced absolute fingers here in this race. Dolphin, who are the drivers you've noticed have gained massively from the safety car period?
Oh, we have got Halo in the
Barlow obviously has really benefited from that. I think it come out perfectly timed for him. The only thing about the safety car is it did ruin that three-way battle we had going for the first, but it has thrown a spanner in the works. So that's always good fun. But I think
what is Halo doing?
Dorsey should have pitted. I think he's made a mistake not pitting.
Yeah, I guess being the lead car, he wasn't sure how many drivers behind him would pit, but...
Oh yeah, 11 lap. He was, on 9 lap old mediums at the time. I think that you've always got to pit. You'll have fresh softs because of the lobby restart. You should have pitted, really. But you never know. You never know.
I think the safety car is going to stay out maybe for another lap. I haven't got the message yet because Scopes is at the back still, so that works in the favor of Fanpest here. So safety car is it's going to stay out. And I wasn't sure what Halo was doing. Halo overshot turn 8 and went into the gravel, and then he overshot turn 9 and 10 as well. So I am not sure what happened there. I'll keep on board with him.
Yep. But I really have no idea how this safety car is going to shape up the field. Like, SLR Barlow must be licking his lips looking at Zach's V25 ahead of him on these older hards, and SLR Fempest on his older hards, and Craig FK with his penalty and the softs that will die before the end of the race. But of course with MLCR Leah right behind him on the mediums, and all nose connections started going again in under the safety car.
Yeah.
Yep. Can you send him an invite, please? It's just started going again. I mean, we've given him a decent bit of time, but now he's with other cars again. This could be quite bad. Halo apparently is lagging quite badly, according to Scopes as well.
Greg got another 5. Greg got another 5. Oh, never mind. I just got that message. Never mind. I am so sorry. I got so in that moment.
Nope, he's not got another 5.
No, I saw like the message came really late for me. I just saw, because I pressed start, I saw Greg 5 seconds speeding penalty. Yeah. I was like, what is going on?
Do you know what's really interesting? Do you know what's really interesting here?
Well,
the top 3 in the exact same order are the top 3 from Australia. And you saw the scenes in Australia that got the top 3 in those positions, so I guess it just shows...
Yeah, well, I said that
safety car is in this lap, but send invites to...
send invites to
Send
Leah,
invites to Craig and to Halo as well, I think, because...
Craig?
No, not Craig, sorry, Leah.
Yeah, I sent an invite to Leah.
Leah, this is awful from Leah. This is going to really affect things behind him as well. Hopefully this doesn't affect Neelix, but yep.
Halo says his wheels disconnected. I can't just got a 3-second time penalty. Oh wow, these. Well, I'm just not. He's out of the race. Let's get it.
As we are on board with SLR
laps.
Fempest in the broadcast cam. Coming up towards turn 1 now. Have you sent the invites to Leah?
I have. Yeah, I have.
But yep, and SLR Fempest now. Craig FK is not as close to him as we thought he would be. But
Neelix down the inside of Teddy here. Fighting, and Teddy
I think that's the other way around there, actually.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it might be. Do you have a spinner?
As SLR Fempest is off. So that really massively helps Craig FK, and SLR Barlow has got past Zach's Beast, so now he is just staring at the gap to Craig FK now. This is really the battle between those two for the lead, you must say. Yeah. MLC Alia has made himself up to 4th, but of course has had connection issues. But yep, that is disastrous for SLR Fempest. He has got his older tyres and, of course, is way down near the back of the field. As MLC Alia and SLR Teddy are battling. And SLR Teddy has got past on his fresh tyres. SBHH and P6 now. He's made the moves he needs to do. Rockamad and Hicklin going side by side. As Rockamad 73 is going to try and hold it around the outside of the Red Bull driver and makes the move stick, it looks like. So he's fighting to try and get back up there as Craig has already pulled 2 seconds on Barlow now. The lead of the race. Teddy has now got past Zach's Beast as well, who's falling back despite being on fresher hards.
Is there a spinner?
As yeah, Leah.
Classic place to
As
spawn.
yeah, try another one on Leah as well. Craig sets the fastest lap of the race. He's absolutely motoring now, as SLR Teddy is now right up behind SLR Barlow as well. As Owen Howe 36 has got past his teammate Cooper Benz, and there is many things happening in the midfield. There is all sorts of chaos. I don't really know what to look for, but absolute fingers at the moment, as Owen Howe 36 is making a move on SLR Bean. Just gonna go on board with the McLaren driver, trying to go around the outside of the Haas driver. As Owen did get past his teammate and all that. As SLR Teddy, yep, he's got past SLR Barlow, and SLR Teddy is now looking to pull a gap on Barlow as well. Barlow may be content with the third spot on the podium. Connor Rockamad double stacked behind his teammate, so lost out quite heavily under the safety car period. But yeah, over to you, Dylan.
Yeah, so Teddy got past Barlow. I've not seen that on the stream or on my POV. Well, Teddy's kind of. Ooh, Teddy lost it, and he's out of the race.
Oh no,
God,
that's
please don't drive
into
into
Teddy.
guys. Please don't drive. He's
Oh
on
God.
The road. Is that a safety car for VC? Is that another? Oh, Hickling almost hit him. Is that another safety car? It's a safety car. It's a No, it's VC.
It's another one.
It's VC.
This is absolute.
Is it safety car?
Absolute scenes for SLR Barlow.
It's
VSC.
It's VSC.
False alarm, guys. False alarm.
Yeah, Barlow's now 5 seconds down on Craig. So if Craig can manage his pace to the end, seems fine for P1. As well, his contender in Teddy was two. I was about to say he's 2 seconds down on Craig, but he's got the same all tires as Craig had, so he might be a contender for the win. As the safety car in virtual safety car is in now. Well, Craig is probably gonna run away with this place. Now retire in the pits. So that's our third retirement of the day. As the midfield is really bunched up here.
Got past Zach's Beast, and Zach's Beast is now ghosting.
Oh,
which is
on.
Interesting.
I thought
as SBHH is now looking to get past him. Yep, ghosting is off, but
yeah, well,
hasn't stopped him ghosting.
No, Code
As yet,
Masters
the gap
is
between.
running outside.
Owen picks up a penalty himself.
Hickling goes deep.
Rockamad is now looking at this fight between Zach, SBH, and MRCR Leah. As looking at the position gains, it is absolutely mental gains for Barlow and SBHH and the two Alpha Tauris. Yeah, check. We've given Leah several invites and he hasn't accepted them, so he is still racing. So we will just so if he does keep his podium, then we will just put in the driver who did finish third in the race just in the podium interview instead of Leah, because we did give him invites. We gave him 1 or 2 at the beginning of the race, then we waited a bit to see if his connection would be alright, and then we gave him another couple. But yeah, and he hasn't left.
Yeah, but I think that's something for later on. We've got a race with 4 laps. If that would have been a safety car, that bunch of the field again, and that would have been so fun. As Dark Shadow is now in the pit, so he's not a contender anymore for some points. He's lost his front wing, putting on a new set of softs. We've got any battles owning 9th just behind Vampes on his old hearts. Probably gonna. As Panther went down the inside of Original, is he gonna stick that move side by side? And he keeps that move going into the second sector. He's up to 12.
Yeah, nice move there from the Mercedes driver.
Yes. Well, Owen's got a penalty, so Vampes can allow Owen to get past it. Obviously,
as SLR Bean, I think, might have just spun. Yes, SLR Bean has spun. He was in the wall.
Yes.
He's fighting for quite a good position there. Was the Haas driver, but has unfortunately made a mistake and has missed out.
Oh,
now, really, we're looking at the battle for the podium between SBHH, Rockamad 73, and Zach's Beast 25 here. SBHH is looking very, very good on his mediums. He's picked himself up from qualifying, and that safety car, absolute godsend for him. And absolute godsend for him, and has put him right up in a good position.
Oh, Owen. Benz is now past Owen because Owen went deep into turn 14, so Benz easily passed him. He's got.
And Fempest is now on the back
penalty
of
as well.
Hicklin and does make the move.
Easy move
So
for
he's
him,
working
yeah.
his way up from his spin.
SPH running outside of Rockamad.
Oh yeah,
So
Rockamad
much
makes
is
the move
happening.
stick.
So much is happening.
And Rockamad is now right on the back of Zach's Beast. He's not using his
No,
ERS
it's
as
saying he
Rockamad.
has
DRS is Rockamad,
DRS,
so interesting decision there from him, but yep, he'll be hoping to fight his way back up into what will be P3. Now the interesting point here is Craig versus Barlow. Craig doesn't have much ERS, Barlow does, and Barlow is going to be on tyres that will be better in these last few laps of the race, so can Barlow
Ben's on the
perhaps
outside
get
of
that
Hicklin.
second and a half that he needs to do to get ahead of Craig for the win?
Yeah,
It's
Ben's
possible.
tried to go around the outside of Hickling into turn 8. No room there. That move by Owen really cost him.
As Rockamad has now gone
Teddy's
down the
there.
inside of Zach's Beast. Very, very late move, but does make the move stick. SBHA's waiting in the wings, but unfortunately does not quite have enough pace. Benz is now really, really close now to Hicklin. Be thinking of making a move on the Red Bull driver. Of course, Owen
light is
perhaps
flashing
open to
as
pounce as well. Benz kind of needs to make this move to potentially then catch up to the Mercedes of Fempest and pass him on his much older tyres. As Craig is continuing putting the gap to Barlow, so
Yeah, he seems fine.
he might have to pace. He might have to
Moving
pace
from Benz
nonetheless.
on Hicklin around the outside of turn 1.
Yep.
Hicklin position here because obviously Benz can't break that late. Fempest is ahead, but he makes it move stick anyway.
Yeah, Benz makes the move stick.
Yeah.
But
As Benz
goes out of shape slightly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on board with Hicklin. Hicklin is using all of the ERS he possibly can to try and get back past, but can't make the move stick. Will Owen now fight back? No, he will not. As SBHH is right at the back of Zach's Beast, but gets 30 air in the middle sector.
This pole position
yep,
hasn't been given out yet. There's got to happen something on the last lap, I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now.
Yep.
Zach's Beast really
I don't
wants
think.
this.
Yep. His
Anyway,
tyres will begin to get better than Rockerman's towards the end of the race as well.
Yeah, Rockman's on 7 laps medium, so he should be fine actually. So he's just out of the DRS there. So I think Rockman just ran away with it. We've got Owen behind Hickling, who's struggling with his ERS. Hickling's got 10, Owen's got 50%. So this should be an
And
easy
I'm now on
move.
board with Benz against Fempest as well. Can Benz recover from his start and get up to P7 here?
He's not using his
As
overtake.
yep, we are on board with Cooper Benz, who's looking to make a move. Is he close enough? No, he is not. But Owen is close enough to make a move on Hicklin.
Hickling brakes late.
But Hicklin breaks much later. Owen is now trying the switchback. Hopefully
Round
he
the
gets
outside.
better drive.
Down the inside.
Round the outside in turn 3. And he is making the move stick at the moment. Is he? Will Hicklin back out of it? He will
Switchback.
try the
Switchback.
switchback on Owen. This is
Oh,
great
that's great
racing between the
racing,
two of them.
Doesn't make
Hicklin
it-
does back out of it, but then as does Owen in there.
Yeah.
And Hicklin has now lost out of it, and now
So
Panther
crazy.
is waiting in the wings to maybe try and move. As Dark Zenon picks up the fastest lap of the race. Owen gets a bit out of shape. That might invite Hicklin and Panther to maybe try something.
Yeah, Panther needs to not be too aggressive here. They've got penalties up ahead, so he's probably got to be. He's got to be sensible. I know he will be probably. So we've got Benz just behind Fempest. They've got almost equal ERS. Obviously, it's going to be the last lap, and Fempest hasn't got DRS on SPH, who is in the second of P. So will we see a move for P4? Rockerman's run away with it. Lia's behind Barlow, but well, we said I think before what's going to happen with that. So
Yep, it's pointless keeping an eye on that battle.
so it's going to
But
be a move
Rockermad
here.
does look to have secured P3.
Yeah,
But
Ben's
there
gonna
might be a
try and
move here
on
for
Fempest.
Barlow on Fempest. No, Ben's on Fempest.
Sorry, yeah. Ben's on Fempest.
Ben's
Round
using
the
quite a bit of his ERS.
outside.
Panther has also made a move on Hicklin on the outside. And yep, the two of them will bang. Does this give Benz the DRS?
Oh, Fempest got DRS. Fempest got DRS. This play out perfectly for the Mercedes driver
But
here.
Benz has got better tyres here, so might be able to hold it around the outside. Fempest is fighting this to the last.
Emma's got that. Emma's got that.
Does look to the line, as Benz has just picked up a
Great
penalty
race.
for his troubles as well.
Oh god.
So that's really that fight over.
Yep, definitely.
As Rockamad has now got past Leah. So Rockamad does move into P3 anyway. So we'll finish in his rightful position. But we are now going to go on board with our race leader, Craig FK, as all of the drivers have really got past any overtaking zones from now to the rest of the race. He's had a bit of he's had not the easiest race, of course getting his penalty for speeding, but has made the strategy call work, has out-strategized the Mercedes team, and the Renault driver gets one up on his P2 position to finish in P1. SLR Barlow comes home in a fantastic P2 for the AlphaTauri driver, and Rockamad 73 in P3. MRCR Leah finishes in P4, but of course will be disqualified from this race, sadly. Zakis Beast in P5. SBHH recovering from the back of the field to finish P6. SLR Fempest gets P7. SLR Panther gets P8. And then the two McLarens of Benz and Owen Howe get P9 and P10. And then Bean, Original, Scopes, Hicklin, Halo, Zenon and Neelix finish outside of the points. Can we please have our driver of the day votes, everybody? And really, I think there's a few clear contenders of... We have to say Barlow, Craig, of course, SBHH. Who's your driver of the day, personally, for you, Dylan?
Well, obviously Craig, despite being kicked out of the session, despite getting a 5-second time penalty, obviously the game's going to give it to SBHH. I was going to, go back on him. Obviously he got that 5-second place penalty, or speeding penalty, and still managed to get P1, so that's really well done. But on the other hand, SPH from 20th to 6th, I don't think you can ignore that. And I'd say I'll give it
20th
to him.
to 5th, I should say, actually.
Oh, 5th. Oh yeah, 5th. Yeah. So I'm gonna go for SPHH here.
Okie dokie. And Dolphin, what about you after that race? Who's your personal driver of the day?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Dylan there. SPH started on 20th all the way up to 6th.
Yeah, of course we'll have to count your results with the stream chat results as well.
There's
and
no
there's a
bias
couple
in
of them
that
saying Craig, a couple of saying Barlow.
Well, I'm going to shoot off
gotta
because I'm going to prepare for my race now.
Yes, good luck.
Okay, yep, good luck on
race,
yours
guys,
later, mate.
and,
Good luck on yours.
Alright, I'll take care.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'll get a podium, guys.
Get in Craig, Barlow, and Rockamad.
Yes. I think
And
Craig got it on
Rockamad
the
to tick his box this time.
Did he not do that?
I think in Singapore
last
last year, which is his only other podium, he didn't tick his box. So do you want to take P3 and P1, and I'll take P2?
Sure thing.
I'd quite like to interview Barlow.
Oh, not is that another 1-3 for Renault? Was that in the?
That is another 1-3.
Yeah.
They got a 1-3 in Division 3 and they got a 1-3 in Division 2. Yep, that is correct. So, yep. Yeah, guys, can you remember to tick your boxes?
Yeah, Rockamad.
Yeah, especially this note for Rockamad, because you didn't do it last time. Oh, I don't know whether Rockamad has a mic, actually.
You can't.
Oh, okay.
Well, you just say your thing and we'll tell it on stream what happened.
Yep.
What he said. Alrighty.
So you take the two Renaults, Dylan, and I'll...
Yeah. Obviously, we've got Rockamad in a P3 here. Was there more in it than a P3, you reckon? What? Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously, Dorsey did the undercut on you guys just when Craig got, I think, kicked out of the session. Do you think you could go faster through the traffic there, or you think you're just sensible and in the end it worked? Yeah. Oh, that's lovely to hear. Well, obviously another podium, your second in a row. This time out in Bahrain. How maybe a third in Vietnam as well? Oh, you did not. What? I thought you did. Obviously, you're joint constructors P1 now. So I think you got the same result as Mercedes did yesterday in the Div 1 race. So you'll, well, yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Anyway, congratulations on that, mate. We'll go back up to P2 now. SLR Barlow.
Yep, I will take this. Well, last week you had a good qualifying and it didn't go your way in the race. This week it's really roles reversed. Like, how do you feel about that P2? How do you feel about that P2? But
put it one way,
fantastic
I'll put a
recovery
drink in
drive.
my hand, I'm spilling half of it. Put it one way. No, honestly, that was absolutely amazing. Seeing Craig in front on the softs, I just couldn't keep it within that 5 seconds. So in the end, well played there for 7 tenths in front. I got pushed at the end a lot by Leah, and then Rockamad obviously got just before the second DRS. Rockamad all of a sudden was behind me. I was like, oh, right, I'm staying in front. I am staying in front. He's got no pens. I want this. Yeah, no, it was a very well executed one stop. And like I say, I'm shaking like a leaf. It was weird to see myself up there to say, smash it out in qualifying.
Yep. Yeah. Talk us through that race. Do you have any moments in the race on the same area? How are you approaching the same bit of track that you did, of course, Bennett in qualifying?
To be fair, I think what it was is I went out on U softs, just to basically get a little bit more track time as I went out on U softs, and it just didn't work out very well. So I went round that corner on the right hander, the back end flew. I tried correcting it, and then it flew the other way. So it was just, yeah, I think it was just purely because I was pushing on U softs. No, I weren't using softs anyway for the race, other than if I got further up. But yeah, no, it was, like I say, very well executed race in the end, and up the AlphaTauri.
Yep. And describe your emotions when you saw the safety car come out and then saw the flood of drivers coming into the pits on similar age tyres to you. What were you thinking then?
I didn't like the safety car at first because obviously they'd all just come out on hards. They've been on hards for a good 5 laps. I pitted onto the mediums, so I was catching the guy in front, and then obviously the safety car come out and was like, no, I didn't need this. But then all of a sudden they all flew into the pits, and I found myself P3, and I think it was P3 or P4, and I was like, oh, hello, and then noticed that there was a gap between as well. I think it was Neelix who was in front just because I just got the double overtake. I'll have to get that one in there because I'm so proud of that one. Halo and Neelix, I got him down. I was liking that one. I was hoping you put it on stream.
I think we caught the end of it on stream. I think we did. I think there was quite a close battle for the lead at the time, so
Yeah.
we kind of cut in between that and you on new tyres. But I think we got a bit of it maybe. But yeah,
Yeah,
course,
just
yeah.
making sure, like I say, I come out in front of them all, and then obviously I seen Dorsey ended up binning it, which was a shock. And then Teddy come from nowhere on the fresh offs. He passed me, and then he binned it straight away, and I was like, oh, right, another safety car. So then it was just a matter of trying to keep with Craig, knowing that that I had, I think it was Zacky's Beast behind. I was pulling on Zacky's Beast, but he had Leah behind him. So he was just pulling Leah further back, which was quite nice because I think if he didn't, I think Leah would have ended up grabbing the spot. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess you may as well know, like Leah. Unfortunately, like he had a few connection issues in the race, and
Yeah, I did get
so
told
like
that.
he won't actually be classified in the race results anyway.
Right.
So I think your teammate got a P5 from that as well. But yep.
But yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, good result. For
Yeah,
you anyway,
thank you
and
very
I guess
much.
moving on now to Dylan for the
yeah.
race
You
winner,
might
Craig
want to
FK.
cover what Rockamat said. Obviously, he wasn't able to tick the box, and we haven't really said what he said. You want to cover that, Sam? Or
Basically, he was saying that he felt he could have been a bit more than P3. Mr. Anonymous, as he is being called in the chat.
Great comms.
Of course, the double stack in the pits hurt him quite a bit, lost him a good bit track position, but he, of course, recovered well. Yeah, he said he's quite happy with P3, although a bit disappointed not to get Barlow, because gap was 7/10 at the end.
All right, we'll go
can I
on
just
to
have
our...
one quick thing?
Yeah, you...
Just because Joe at the start of this was very, very, very off pace. That's SP, by the way, if anyone didn't know. So I just want to congratulate him on his P6, and yeah, well played, mate.
Maybe even P5 in the end. Up to Alpha Tauri then.
Oh yeah.
Up to Alpha Tauri. Get
Alpha Tauri.
Well, move on to a race winner. I'm pretty sure you got what, it's been like 2 hours ago, so I'm not actually sure. You got Paul as well, or am I mistaken there again?
No, I didn't get Paul. No,
You did not. What,
No,
there was one.
I
You
started
probably
in
were.
third. Yeah. It was
You
Ben.
were you in the party, teammate?
No, I wasn't. No.
Oh, you were not. All right. Well, we saw him weaving on the back straight on his last lap in Q3, so we were wondering what that was about. But anyway, great result for you. Last time I got P2. Well, take us through your race, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it, to be honest. I was so annoyed with myself for that pen for speeding in the pit lane. I was too busy looking at what Dorsey, if he was coming in or staying out. But yeah, I totally didn't expect it after the disconnect. And then obviously the safety car helped me a lot to get me on the softs and pull that 5 seconds back. I felt for Rockerman behind me, like obviously, because he had to wait for the tyres to be fitted. Felt for Dorsey as well, to be honest, because I mean he drove really well today. Yeah, it was about it. I'm over the moon, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, I really am. Barlow drove really well. Rockerman did. Like Barlow say, I mean even SPH had a great race today. Ben seemed to pull it back from the back of the pack once he got damaged. I think there was a lot of sort of positives today from Div 2.
Yeah. So, what were your emotions when you saw Fempes losing the car, and obviously you got P1 there? What are you thinking at that moment?
Just stay calm. Really. That was all I was thinking. Yeah.
Obviously, it made it easier. But anyway, and then your emotion when you saw you only came out in, I think, just behind Rockermat. You came out of the pit, obviously after disconnecting.
Yeah.
What were you thinking at that moment? Probably really, really, really happy.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I can't remember much more of the race, to be honest. Just a blur, isn't it? Once you find yourself in a position to win.
Well, anyway, really well done. I think it was the second race in a row you got disconnected, but still got, well, this time the P1. Last time you got P2. So well done on that. Maybe another P1 or a podium in Vietnam. What do you reckon?
I'll try my hardest. Yeah, I'll try my hardest.
That's all right. Sandra would probably say something like, "Yeah, easily P1," or Darcy would have said, "Easy P1." Next time, Darcy would have said that.
Yeah. And also another thing now with Craig, you're now leading the championship. So you said that you didn't obviously weren't setting your bar too high at the beginning of the season, but now you have taken the lead of the championship after, of course, getting that win and Dorsey not getting a good result himself. Are you maybe thinking about that as a goal now? 2 podiums in the first 2 races. And
you keep trying to make me say it, don't you? No, I'm just no. Every race as it comes, just every race as it comes, Sam, and that's what I need to do.
Come on, Craig, give us all a hint.
Yeah.
I'm such a boring
I can't give you
answer.
hints, Barlow. Can't give you any hints, mate.
Damn it.
Maybe next season if we're in the same team together.
Oh, okay.
Well,
It's a
you
great
don't want
race.
something to tell anymore. I'd say give it to Sam.
But yeah, anyway, thanks guys, for the podium interviews, and congratulations on your podiums as well. So yeah, that's the end of the race. Fantastic drives, of course, by our podium finishes, and that safety car really put on a good show for us. So thoroughly enjoyed that one. I expect you probably did as well, Dylan.
I
And
really
yeah,
did. I really did.
Now we, well, half an hour only away from the Division 3 race. Should be a cracker as well, as it usually is. I've been SLR Sem here with SLR Dylan, and we are signing you out of the second Division 2 race of